Well, here.
Alrighty. You there, Ricky?
I'm here.
Okay, how's everybody doing? I hope the evening is going good.
Thank you,
Um,
Kelly.
Thank you, Ricky. um, we're basically spinning off of what happened last night, his stream. And as you can see, the title is How a Black Conservative Can Be Dangerous. So if I want to step into that, and like I said, this is pretty much a spin-off, and I'm going to be asking Ricky some questions. So do you want me to start, or do you want to go? How do you want to do this?
Hey, it's your show.
Okay, all right. So basically, the reason why I felt like I wanted to do another stream on this is because I really couldn't get, you guys can't see me anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. I really didn't get to get all my questions out. And I think there's some important things that need to be discussed on both ends. So with that being said, let's start with, I hate using names, but since we already did it yesterday, what difference does it make? And being truthful, if we're being honest here.
Okay.
What, in your opinion, what do you think is the biggest issue with the danger in being a Black conservative, with the information they're putting out?
To me, people will tie me in with people like, your main characters that's in the game. They'll actually think, conflate me with those guys before they even give me a chance. They'll see me with my MAGA hat on and automatically be like, oh, sellout, coon, whatever, But, the way that the media portrays us as people, people are scared of conservatives right now. They make us look like we're terrorists. You have these alt-rights that can, hold YouTube channels. And the reason that they can make so much money is because the alt-right is very racist. I don't call these people, these big name grifters, I don't call them conservatives. I call them conservatives. These are the Black conservatives that, they do no wrong, well, that white people can do no wrong to them. They denounce history or they deny history. They are very, they manipulate stats. They throw things at people in a way that you don't want to be a part of the conservative movement. So whenever you look at the stuff that they say, is very dangerous because, like, even earlier tonight, I listened in on a little bit of Brandon Tatum, and he was talking about how, you should be able to pull guns on people, trying to justify the Ahmaud Arbery murder. Okay. Talking about, yeah, you should be able to pull guns on people that don't belong in your community. But you know how that registers with the people that he's talking to. You feel me? You know how we take it and how people that he's talking to really takes it.
Right.
That's a way of saying, okay, it's hunting season on Black people.
Now, when people ask me about that, I know I got confronted with that question from a few different people. And my answer was, I feel like it was justifiable charges, right?
Right.
Because and not to say everything we said last night, but the simple fact was that I didn't feel like anybody should, I've watched people go in different houses and look at the layout, et cetera, et cetera. I think sometimes the dangerous part to me, like you said, is when people are trying to justify that something that we know probably isn't right, just to to pacify the audience, and that is extremely dangerous.
Not only that, but I mean, people don't know how deep that, their crowd runs. Like on TikTok, I'm not getting the followers that I used to get as soon as came out and told that was messed up for Candace Owens to say that black people are the most murderous people on the face of or in the country. Did you see that on Fox News last night when Tucker Carlson was interviewing her, or that was yesterday, and she said that black people are the most murderous, and then you have her fan club talking about, yep, the facts are the facts, blah blah blah. Okay, but if we were playing with per ratio instead of whole numbers, per ratio would say that we're responsible as black people, black men, at 50% of the violent crimes in America. All right. So that means that 50% and only 13% of the population, so you see how these stats keep switching. That means every black man, woman, and child is capable of killing and has killed before. That means we're wild animals.
I'm gonna put something on the screen. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good.
And oh shoot, I wish it would go bigger. But see, now you can't really I wish I could zoom in on this. I wish I could zoom in on it more. Let's see. Maybe that works better. There we go. Okay. So this is like a serial killer thing, right? I didn't look up a whole bunch of things, but I pulled a few just to show if we want to do the number thing. Okay. All groups commit crime, and I'm not putting this off on one or the other, because I do believe that there's also something called reverse racism. I hear a lot of people, meaning it's always been the argument that black people can't be racist. Okay. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but for me, I don't understand why that concept couldn't be possible.
I'm going to be honest with you. It seems like every time I get on your show, I want to be honest. Being honest with you, the way I see that this political environment is, I'm very, I won't say that racism isn't as strong as it used to be, but I don't let my guard down. Meaning that I'm kind of weary of going to these rallies anymore in the future. And the reason why is because I don't know who I'm sitting amongst that's telling me, hey, you're American, but deep down they have a hatred for me. You see what I'm saying? When I look at the people that, okay, because the story about how I, left the Tea Party, because these motherfuckers were sitting around talking about wanting me to do stuff and that I wasn't wanting to do or willing to do, and work with people I wasn't willing to work with. And they were like, but you're black. But where did I hear that before? On the Democratic side. And I'm sitting here like, wow. So I got to, hear how full of fault I am on the Democratic side. And I got to come over to the conservatives to hear how full of fault that I am. But, even on both sides, when I'm in the room, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably one of the most richest motherfuckers in the room. So if we're sitting there playing by, skin color, and then they'll turn around and say, well, we're all American. But, you allow, these conservatives to sit there and put down black people. So if we're all American, then why the fuck does race come up at all? If we're all American and you look at me as all American, then we need to just look at each other as Americans.
Right. And, also, people, I don't get offended when I see, Puerto Ricans flying their flag, Jamaicans flying their flag. Hey, if you want to represent your heritage, I don't have an issue with that. For me, I don't have a connection to it like that. I mean, if you want to count making lefse once a year with my family, okay. But for me, I don't really have, I don't, that's not important to me. I feel like I'm American first. It's great to know my history, but then again, I'm like, I'm in the here and not now. So I'm on the fence about it. But I feel like if people are going to do this and be honest, we have to be fair. I went hard for Rittenhouse. And only because it was local, that case caught me. Every
Yeah.
single case isn't going to catch you. You know what I mean? Um, Another local case, the Crystal Kaiser chick that killed her rapist slash trafficker.
Yeah.
That was like, whoa, because that's right here. So of course I want to dig in and know more, because that's kind of my passion, if you want to call it that. Okay.
See,
Um,
your area have a lot of shit going on. I mean, the guy mows through the parade there, the Rittenhouse case, the rapist getting shot, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like,
well, there's actually a lot more, obviously the news, and that's true with the media too. They always want to push their narrative also. So they're going to pick and choose, you know. So I wish I get that you want to do something that is going to be a monetary gain, but I wish people would be more honest, because we can't get anywhere if, we're being deceptive.
well, when you look at the media, for instance, when I look at these clown conservatives, those are they're not conservatives, they're clown conservatives. Conservatives are the fake black conservatives. Clown conservatives are the racist white conservatives. They don't even know why they like Donald Trump. They just know that they hate Obama. Um, these are the ones that get the microphone whenever they go to these Trump rallies. They make sure that they find the clown conservative in the crowd and give them some airtime and be like, see, look at these stupid Trump supporters here. And it doesn't help that Trump was an older man. He wasn't good with his speech as he used to be. So he fumbled a lot, like Sleepy Joe does. And when you get, when you couple that in and you project that image out to the world, Trump looks stupid and Trump supporters look stupid. They don't show people like myself there. And when they do show people like me, they'll probably give me about 2 minutes, you know what I'm saying, a 2 minute interview. And we know that goes down to 10 seconds, you
And
know.
yes, I've seen some epic fails on those clips, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So when they talk to me, it's like, yeah, I'm glad I came out today. I supported Trump in the video when the whole interview was, why do you support Trump? And I give good reason, like they did to me on Fox News. And next thing you know, I'm sitting on Fox News for like 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm out here to support the greatest president ever today. That was it.
That's it. They don't tell the rest of the story, huh?
No, but then they'll show these clown conservatives saying some old racist shit, and then be like, why did that black guy want to show up here with these clown conservatives? Um, it's a lot of clown conservatives on the interwebs because they can be. To your face, they're very nice. They present themselves as people, but when you're online, they get a little bit more brave. They'll say some stupid shit like, today my big deal on TikTok was somebody asked me to make a video about why I don't like, these conservatives and these clown conservatives. And they're like, oh, you don't like them because they're spitting the truth. When just last week you was kissing my ass when I was telling off these white liberals, calling them out for their racism, but now you're getting your feelings when I call you out about yours. The racism thing is on both sides of the aisle. And I'm not going to sit here and tell black people that it's rainbows and unicorns on the other side of the fence. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not rainbows and unicorns over here on this side of the fence. These motherfuckers are, just as racist, if not more racist than the left. Conservatism is a lifestyle. It's not a belief. It's not a structure. The lifestyle meaning that I vote him out. The real reason that I'm a conservative is I vote in my political interest. I'm an entrepreneur. So, of course, I'm going to vote with the guy who's going to give me tax breaks and not fucking rape me at the end of the year or every quarter. But when you get to talk,
wait, I have one question before I lose this train of thought.
okay.
Now, when you vote, local, federally, whatever, is your ticket all red?
Here in South Carolina, you can switch up.
Okay.
Like when I voted last time here, like when I voted for Trump, there were some local people running for certain things. And when I took the people to the polls, because I led a group of people to the polls as well, people that I talked out of voting for Biden because they was ready to vote for Biden because they thought that Trump supporters and Trump was racist. And I had to sit down and tell them, hey, man, this isn't what you're seeing here. gave them the link to my show, from my social media pages, and they listened to what I had to say. They was like, you know what? I hate to admit it, but damn it, you're right. And I sat down and told them, because they was doing like certain laws here, like, we voted on if they was going to add a higher tax to the water and sewage here. And they had the law, it was written like a legal contract. So I had to sit down and translate to them, hey, look, they're talking about upping the cost of tax on water here. And,
What?
yeah, where if you just not caring, because after you vote Trump, after you vote, for your local, your local authorities, then it goes down to that other stuff that people just hit buttons, like, no, don't do that. Be sure you take your time. It's going to take you about 20 minutes to read through this, and it's going to take you about 20 minutes to get the understanding of what these things are. But what I was saying last night, as a collective in the melanated community, I think that we need to divorce ourselves from political parties. And I think the reason we need to do that, because of our history in America, we cannot deny it. We have a very fucked up history here. We need to stand in unison, all classes of melanated people. And we need to think, okay, what's going to be the best candidate for us? Rather, if it's a Democrat, if it's a Republican running at the time, if the Democrat is giving us a better deal and a better shake than the Republicans, then fuck it. Let's go with the Democrat. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, because you get somebody like Tulsi Gabbard. I would vote for her in a hot New York minute. And if she had ran against Trump, and I don't care who says this, I would have voted for her.
Okay.
I would have voted for her. And the reason why is because I think that if we had some fresh blood in there instead of the shit that we have now, then we would have been, all right. But, I'm kind of weary of, of having my people to come around white conservatives and listening to them shove Candace Owens, shove Officer Tatum down their throats. And they'd be like, man, fuck these people, because hell, why the hell would you want to hang around people like that? Why would you want to be a part of them? And that's one thing that I try to translate to people. No, I'm not the coon. I will call things out how I see it. Is the black community fucked up? Yeah, I speak a lot on the black community. But here lately, I've been speaking on, the racism that exists, because I see something very sinister coming down the pipe. These guys, these conservatives, they're radicalizing these fucking clownservatives. Clownservatives are the ones that run around with CWPs here in the South and think that just because they have a gun, that they could be the aggressor, get their ass kicked, pull the gun out, shoot a black person, and say, I was standing my ground, this person attacked me.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say the word radicalized, okay, I know clearly what that means. And I've heard this before, okay, from a few different people. So, yeah, it does get a little bit leery for me. But when I really stop and think about it, and I said this last night, it's like a lot of us are already intertwined, be it kids, grandkids, whatever, friends, family members, extended family, whatever it may be. I'm not, I guess if I look at it in perspective, it doesn't seem absolutely impossible, right?
Right.
I just think a lot of us would die, that we're actually on the same team in protection of others. So that would be, I just can't see it. But
what if you have a radicalized situation in America? Okay, so let's just say tomorrow the social contract is broken in America. The police, they it's going to take a while for the National Guard to be able to cover all of the states to make sure everything's back in order. So right now you got a free for all, and you got these idiots, these clownservatives that listens to Tatum and Owens and all these people, right? And talk about how dangerous black people are. What you think is going to happen on the battlefield?
Right. And my question is, for the people that are complaining and saying there's issues, why aren't they making a difference? This does nothing.
Because they're fake patriots. But see, here's the thing, and I'll tell anybody this. When you get people talking about race war, I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know who in that crowd would be radicalized and turned against me. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, you know what, Ricky, we don't like you anyway. Fuck you. So that's the big deal. And then you start, with the whole Cal Rittenhouse thing. What Black America saw was a white kid who had an AR-15 that shouldn't have been there in the first place, by the way. And I will say that, but I mean, he's guilty. He's not, he was found innocent, and I believe he's innocent, but he should not have been there. So let's just say, for instance, if, shit hit the fan like it did last summer, right? And now you got people that haven't even been properly vetted to be carrying these weapons on the street. What you have is a fucking war zone. And I'm like, wow. So,
but on the flip side of that, Ricky, the police should have done their job, right?
They were overpowered.
They're sitting there with, see, how can you be overpowered when you have a position of power? You have guns, you have a whole squad.
How many cops do you think are working on the streets in your city right now? You're in Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
Near Milwaukee.
Yes.
How many cops do you think is working on the beat right now in Milwaukee? If somebody was to become a mass shooter and just start shooting up a nightclub, how many cops do you think are working right now on the street?
You know what? I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even but we do have a cop close to us. So I guess I could ask her, because I never really thought about that. See, I don't see police, but I'm technically in the hood though. So the only time you're really going to see a cop is if, well, and I should even say that because they came out for an animal issue. So, but the only time you're really going to see them is if, somebody calls them, or they, they have a murder. I just don't see a lot of police. I don't.
I'm going to tell you something that happened to me the first time I got robbed. I was robbed when I was 16 years old, right? Called 911 after I got robbed. I'm sitting in the Wendy's parking lot for 2 hours. Do you know why? There was a murder. All the cops were tied up investigating that murder, roping off the scene, just hanging around that murder. So now if you was to say somebody was just to come out and start doing something stupid, if you got the cops tied up at the scene, like God only knows what went on in y'all city that night when that asshole ran through that parade. God only knows what went on in that city that night while all the cops were tied up there. And basically, it's kind of like what I was asking my man last night, but he never answered the question because, they always bring up, well, what about the case with Cannon Hennon? They try to conflate that with George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery, right? But if white supremacy wasn't real, then there's no, we as the melanated community did not send Darius money for killing Cannon. We didn't just say, hey, man, let's, everybody dropping in 5s, 10s, and 20s and whatnot, sending them bigger checks than that. When you look at cases like, what's the guy's name? Dylan Roof down here in Charleston, when he shot up that church, he became a millionaire. These cops that kill Black people, they become millionaires. As soon as they get on, get their faces on television, they become millionaires. Fucking anybody, George Zimmerman, I think you can Google his net worth, but the last time I saw it, I think it was somewhere around 14 million. But for killing a child. For killing a Black child. So it's like, there's a hidden hand in white supremacy where nobody's out there calling you a nigga to your face, but they make sure that they reward the people that do what they wish they could do. So when all these white people were calling Cal Rittenhouse a hero, they were referring back to, that was like muscle memory from when they saw all these people getting murdered unjustly and being paid healthy in donations.
I can't even imagine what lunatic would send another lunatic piece of shit money. Because I'm going to call you a lunatic if you're donating to Dylan Roof. And clearly, yes, I'm going to call you racist. What would make you donate to a Dylan Roof?
You probably living next door to somebody that donated to Dylan Roof. You probably work with somebody who donated to Dylan Roof. That's the scary part. If they're that strong that they're taking their hard-earned money and they're sending it to someone, that is, enough right there to, make Black people like, whoa, wait a minute, some bullshit's going on here. And I wish they talked about that more during the whole Black Lives Matter thing. That's something, instead of talking about Aunt Jemima and Confederate flags and Confederate statues and shit, I wish they talked about that. Now, RBR, as retarded as he is, he makes a good point that there are a lot of racists on the right that want to kill everybody that's non-black in America. The biggest fear that a lot of white folks, well, the clown conservatives have, is that they're losing America. They're losing white supremacy. White supremacy is real, but I don't let it stop me, but I don't let my guard down either.
Okay, I can, when you bring up the objective, now this is something I've never heard before. So when you say that all these people have become millionaires, that is scary. Okay. Because clearly there's people out there donating to them. Kind of like Charles Manson, whoever else. I'm sure there's people that donated to Jeffrey Dahmer, but to think, now you just brought up the Cannon Hennon. I can't remember his shooter's name.
Darius, I'm trying to remember his last name. But they said that, the way they told the story in the media was, what was that? The way they told the story in the media was that Darius just opened fire on Cannon Hennon. But now, if I was going to be an asshole about it, I could say the truth of what happened to that situation. That was, that Cannon Hennon's parents and Darius were using drugs together. Shit went foul. Motherfucker went out of his fucking mind. He shot fucking, he was, when he was sitting there shooting that fucking gun, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? Because the guy drove off. But, to bring up the parents' background would be the same as bringing up anybody else's background in a case like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't really go with that. And I don't really like that narrative about the parents and stuff, because you can be a perfect, married couple with quote unquote perfect kids and everything's going great, and they can turn out and, do some heinous shit. So I don't really go with that. Okay. But for example, okay, the guy that ran to the parade, he apparently made a statement that he felt dehumanized. I'm like, okay, you ran through a parade of, technically you killed the elderly and we have kids in the hospital. I'm just saying
that was cowardly, because these people could not fight back. These people were like enjoying a parade, and they could not. They were not in a position to fight back. So to me, I think they should throw that son of a bitch under the jail. I don't know if your state has a fucking electric chair, but put them in the electric chair without the wet sponge.
No, no death penalty here. So, but that is very, very alarming to think how these people got rich. That just blows my mind. I never knew that. And that makes me want to look further into it.
Yeah. And there was what's the guy in the chat room? None of your business. Talking about I'm more than likely to be shot by a brother. Well, before I had my Glock collection, I used to have a Springfield collection. I traded my Springfield collection in for Glocks. The reason why I done this was because I ran across these, what I would call clown conservatives before. Twice. First time I ran across a clown conservative came at me because I honked my horn at him to keep him from hitting my car. He got very violent, and there's a thing about these clown conservatives. The only reason they always talk about two-way is because they're a bunch of fucking cowards. They're old, or they're just like, fat, gravy seal kind of people. And they talk about that two-way because they're cowards. They want to be able to run their mouth and feel, like a man. They, their gun is their dick size. The second one that I ran across, I had my music playing loud. Big old fat gravy seal walks up to my truck, makes it his business being a male Karen. and asked me, why the fuck is your music so loud? And I looked back at him and I said, because I paid a lot of fucking money for my fucking stereo. I looked at his at his waistline and I could see the curvature imprint that he had a revolver on him. So I cocked my Glock. That motherfucker looked at me like, whoa. Yeah, because see, the thing is that these clown servitors don't think that black folks are strapped. I was ready to take his life that day, and I wouldn't have felt bad about it. I would have probably went home and fucked my wife until I damn, reversed my vasectomy and had another kid.
Yeah, as if that's possible, but it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man. I mean, that's just the way I felt about it, because he learned the lesson fucking with me that day, that you just can't go around bullying people because you have a weapon on you. And the fact of the matter is, and I tell, and when I'm giving, because I train, like, the people that I train in my classes, they're young men between 21 and 25. None of your business is like, why didn't I shoot him? Because he didn't draw on me. Now, if he had to reach for that weapon, I would have put his ass up. I would have put his ass on ice. But the thing was, like, when I tell these kids that I train is, here's the deal. If somebody coming up talking to you and they got, you can whoop their ass and they're talking $500 worth of shit, walk away, because what you have on your hands is one of these fucking clown servitors that are ready to shoot you and hide behind the self-defense law. You know what I'm saying?
That's scary. That's man. I'm not against self-defense, and technically we don't have a law for that here. Not like we don't have the castle doctrine. We don't have a set in stone law. Everybody I've seen encounter that has gotten off, but yeah, we don't have it. So
Wisconsin don't have a self-defense law?
It's not, we don't have like a set in stone law. So it's a little bit different for us, but like I said, everybody I've watched has gotten off on the charges. So I don't know.
Well, see, South Carolina, we have a castle doctrine here. So you're when I'm in my vehicle is an extension of my home. So like the guy who tried to carjack me, when he tried to jump over into my car, I have a convertible, and I drew on him. If he had to continue to go into try to get into my car, I could have shot him. But when he saw that I was strapped and I was getting ready to put one in his ass, he backed away. Now, if I shot him while he was backing away, then I'm in trouble for murder. So I tell people all the time, just because you got a gun, it doesn't make you the police. It doesn't make you invincible.
No, you're right. And I just had a friend a few years ago that got killed outside a bar, and it was over something simple. A simple disagreement. I think he tapped the guy's pocket and he blew his brains out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I don't even know if that other guy did 5 minutes in jail.
What?
Yeah, so it was very open and closed, So it can be, it's double-edged when you don't have a set in stone law. I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing.
Well, see, the thing is that, I look at these clown servitors. They're the type of people that, like, you get a high-profile case like Ahmaud Arbery, and they're blaming Ahmaud Arbery for trying to grab the gun, but, if you didn't approach the guy with the gun, he wouldn't have tried to grab it. You feel me? He was defending himself at that moment in time.
But what would, this is the thing though, what would make them, I know they were trying to do this. See, I don't understand this whole citizens arrest thing. Not that I don't understand it, I get the concept, but I don't understand why it's needed anymore.
Well, citizens arrest in Georgia, and this is the crazy part that I don't get, because people listen to these clown servitors, these coon servitors, these clown servitors. Basically what they listen to the clown servitors listen to the coon servitors for is a way to shake their fist at black people, because in this politically charged environment and this racially charged environment, they can't say that shit. You see what I'm saying? You can't repeat what you hear these conservatives say. You can't say that at your job. You can't post it on social media, or else, you know what I'm saying, the leftists will come for you. And the thing is, I believe that, you know, a lot of these guys, they look for a reason to shake their fist at black people. And I'm looking at it like, what the fuck? Let's see. Somebody said they put up a GoFundMe for the racist terrorist in the SUV. They did. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I wonder who's donating to him, because I don't know of anybody that would, to be honest with you.
I would have to go, you know what? I would have to go look it up and see, you know, if somebody, I mean, I'm sure apparently there are nutcases everywhere that I wouldn't give them anything. I don't know what, you know, nobody that was listed I would give a penny to. So I don't know, but that's interesting to see.
I want to see why would they leave his up and take Kyle Rittenhouse's down.
Yeah, let me go look and see if I can go on the site and look, because let me put his name in. Let's see.
Somebody said in the chat room, are you a libtard or a Democrat? I'm nobody you want to fuck with. How about that?
Let me see.
Oh, so it's no longer up?
I was going to say, I don't see it. I'm looking through. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. So maybe they did take it there. Maybe it got taken down. It had to have, because it ain't on there.
So. But see, here's the thing, and I'll say it like this: if there's a way to punish these racists without hurting innocent white people, I would. If there's a way to punish them without hurting innocent white folks, I would, man. If there was a way that I could just, like, you know, we could just fuck them up. Because see, the thing is, I'm seeing like innocent white people getting fucked up over the damn racist. You know, where if you just say something about the Black Lives Matter movement and you call the truth out for what it really is, these libtards can, like, you know, call your job and get you fired. And that's bullshit, in my opinion. But if there was a way that you could just, if there's a way we could just like separate these racists, because these racists, they like to hide, they're cowards in 2021. And I'm looking at it like, if there's a way that you can just set them up and be like, okay, these are the people that's talking shit. You know what I'm saying? These are the motherfuckers that want a damn buck. If shit hits the fan, then fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Let them step up. Let's go to war. You know? But a lot of times they hide behind other things to do their dirt. A lot of times as well, and working, you know, I'm helping my friend out in the gun store. I see a lot of people come in there, and the first thing they start asking when they talk about the CWP class is, yeah, man, you know, boy, it's a lot of N-words running around the city. And the guy that I help out, you know, he looks like a redneck, or he, you know, people would look at him and at face value and be like, he's racist, but he's really not. He's like, no, you don't use that word in here. As a matter of fact, I'm not doing business with you. I'm not selling you a gun to go out there and harm the community. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so I just look at it like, you know, the woke culture has became overkill. So when I look at the left, I look at them as overplaying it with the woke culture, and I look at the right as underplaying it. They underplay it because, you know.
Then we never get to it. We never get to a happy medium then, per se. I said we'll never. I'm saying we'll never get to a happy medium then, per se. Like, yeah. For me, can I say that I know somebody personally that has outright told me that? Nope. You know, when people mention like the Klan, I don't know anybody that's in the Klan. You know, I don't. Not saying that it doesn't exist. I think maybe there is somewhere. You know, maybe they do have chapters. I don't know, but I've never met one.
I sold a truck to a guy that was in the Klan one time.
He outright admitted it to you?
Yeah, he admitted. Well, his tattoo said everything, and I was just like, okay. I was like, I gave him the keys. He was like, "You're not gonna go with me for a test drive?" I'm like, we're good, man.
Test
Only
drive.
thing I need is your driver's license. Make a copy of it. He was like, "Well, I just wanted to make sure if the truck broke down that you were there with me, because so they won't take their time about coming to pick me up." So we're in the truck and we're talking and everything, and and he pretty much told me what his stance was, and I had to respect it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but he didn't call me any names out. He didn't drop the N-bomb, but he was. I mean, this guy was very intelligent. He had a good vocabulary on him. But at the end of the day, he bought the truck for me and not the white guy up the street because I saved him $400.
No, but there wouldn't be okay. No, when we say that, that's okay. I would think that's something clearly different than maybe not clearly, but different from white nationalism,
Yes.
or being a black nationalist. You know, which I don't
have. As a matter of fact, he and I had that talk that day. Like, they don't really get down with like the skinheads. The only thing that they got in common is that they don't like black people. But the skinheads are like white national socialists. And the Klan, they're more along the lines of the clown-servatives that I mentioned. Now the Klan, they can't go out carrying any acts of terrorism anymore. They had to become a what is it? How did I read that? They're not a terrorist group anymore after they was labeled a terrorist group because the lady sued them. So now they operate as an organization, an LLC.
Oh, okay.
And as an LLC, they operate as, and I look at it like, wow, this is crazy the way they can become a business, but pretty much that they do this so that, they don't commit acts of terror anymore. And if they did, I mean, it wouldn't be a wise idea showing up in this neighborhood with that bullshit.
Well, and realistically, they can't because hate crimes.
Exactly.
You can't commit hate crimes anymore. You can't. If you do, you're going to jail. Period.
Well, the people who got the most protection under hate crimes, because people talked about Joe Biden signed that hate crime bill for Asians, but people don't realize that melanated people have that same protection as well, but not to the extent that the Asians do. Like, for instance, if we were sitting here, online talking about harming an Asian person, we could go to jail for that. You see what I'm saying? That hate crime bill is very direct. Where versus, I wouldn't mind having that kind of fucking protection, to be honest with you. That would shut down so many people. Hell, Fox News might have to damn go liberal tomorrow. Because Fox News isn't hiding their racism anymore.
See, and sometimes I hear other people talk about these how do I say it? Like MGTOW groups and other groups that incels like hate women.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't go looking for them. I don't go looking for, I guess, men that don't that don't like me per se. I mean,
right.
Or have a problem with me. I mean, I'm just not going to listen to it. So it kind of confuses me when I hear a lot of complaints about that.
Well,
because what are you looking for? Somebody brought up a whole bunch of names and I'm like, I don't even know who these people are. I don't know who they are. The only one that sounded familiar was the Jordan Peterson.
Okay. The only reason that I kind of, what's what I'm looking for? The only reason that I keep my eye open for clown-servatives and coon-servatives is because they're dangerous. And what I mean by that is that these are the people that will, what's what I'm looking for? They pose a threat to our country. They pose a threat to the conservative movement, as they already have, because now everybody thinks just because you got a Trump flag on your car, they look at me like I'm a terrorist. When I'm driving my truck and my Trump flag's waving, they look at me like I'm a terrorist. Had a black girl ask me one time, she goes, "Damn, I'm scared of you." I'm like, "What you scared of me for?" I was just coming back from training. I had my, my military style fatigues on, and she was like, "You guys are scary," and I'm like, "No, we're not." And I sat down and talked to her. She was about 24 years old, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I get it now." I was like, "Yeah." So basically, we're not, what the media say we are. I'm not saying that, that there are not people out there that uses patriotism as a way to be racist, but here we are, having a conversation. I'm not
R-
on the defense or anything. She was like,
Have you found the, any white channels that talk about how bad the white community is?
yeah,
Oh, okay. See, that's something I don't know about that either.
they're all over the damn. Well, shit, Bo of the Fifth Column. Who else? Well, she's on. She used to be on YouTube. It was a girl by the name of Rubia Garcia. She's on Facebook now. She blocked me because I pretty much, put her in her place after that altercation in Washington D.C. Um, and there's, I mean, there's several of these. Or these are like these leftist Antifa style people. They sit around and talk about white people and talk about, yeah, we're going to make our ancestors pay for this, that, and the third. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Because when you start saying white people, what about the white people that are on the right that supported Black Lives Matter? There were white people on the right that supported Black Lives Matter. As a matter of fact, we walked with them last summer and made sure that everything was in order with these, at these protests, to make sure that they were peaceful. And my friend Carolyn, she just awesome as hell. She Trump supporter, had on the shirt that says "Free Hugs." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. There's another lady too that I know that does that. I forget her name. I want to say
yeah.
Sherry, but I could
I
be
mean,
wrong.
she owns a restaurant. She actually brought out free food for the restaurant and water and stuff for the people as they were protesting, make sure that they wasn't hungry, making sure that they wasn't thirsty. So when you start talking about, Trump supporters are racist and whatnot, no, this is like white, blonde hair, blue eyed woman that was making sure that the protesters were taken care of.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because when I was at the Rittenhouse thing, sitting outside, it was one girl by herself that I talked about many times, and it was almost an altercation with her, and a lot of people were almost in her face. And then, a couple guys stepped in. He's like, "Look, dialogue is okay, but don't put your finger in her face.
Yeah.
Give her a couple feet." So they weren't necessarily trying to be on a side. They were patriots, but they were just trying to let everybody exercise, their First Amendment and let it be peaceful.
Exactly.
And then after the verdict, there was actually a black man and his daughter that they had a peaceful protest, and they were walking with the crowd, and they both had ARs. A lot of people brought out guns that day.
Oh yeah, because shit was about to hit the fan.
So I guess maybe that kept it calm, that a lot of people were armed. I don't know. But yeah, I do think that it's absolutely dangerous to be disingenuous and point the finger one way. I do.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I can't say, like with me and my personal experience and in my life, I was driving back home one day on a long road trip. I had my older truck at the time. It was a GMC, transmission gave out, right? The guy who had the record service, white guy, the whole town was white. I was the only black guy in the whole town. Man, that said, well, it's going to be a while before that transmission come in. He said, hell, it'll probably be here tomorrow. I was like, what am I supposed to do until then? I was like, is there a hotel around here? And he says, my wife would be really offended if you didn't come to our house. So I sat down, ate dinner with his family, and his wife put together, dressed up the bedroom for me. His son was off in college and let me sleep in their house. And he worked on my truck the next day. We sat there and talked, and had my peeps wire me some money so he could get paid. And I was on my merry way, So
wow.
yeah, so I mean, so to say that, people, you can judge people by their color is bullshit. And you know, like even though I'm very critical of some of the bullshit that black people do, but black people for the most in my area, I can't speak for the rest of the country, but in my area, they're the most humble and giving people there. If you came into the black community and you know, let's say you were selling cable, you know, I've been on jobs where when I used to sell cable, going door to door selling cable. Um, they'll offer you, you know, they may not have much, but they'll offer you what they have. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I don't like about the stereotype that they put out there, calling us murderers and criminals and shit, talking about we commit the 50% of the nation's crimes. I mean, if that was the stats on white people, I'd be scared of white people. You
And
know?
well, the reality is when I look at the numbers on crime, we look about equal when it goes to population.
Yeah.
Just say when I look at the pie, it's like, and then I consider the population numbers, we look about the same. But I was just reading earlier that Wisconsin has the lead in the nation for incarcerated black men. The lead in the nation. And I didn't even know that. Honestly, I didn't even know that. And that's according to 2019. Because I thought Louisiana was still in the lead, but you know, I could have my stats messed up, obviously. But yeah, but a lot of people would used to make a joke saying, you know, you go to Wisconsin on vacation, you leave on probation. It's kind of true.
They used to say that about Myrtle Beach, what we call Murder Beach now. You know, that's a very high crime ridden area. I didn't know how serious it was because, I mean, Myrtle Beach is a vacation spot, you know, but throughout the year, you know, it gets kind of hectic over there. But, you know, my thing is like when you're talking about how dangerous that misinformation could be, and then you have a black person saying that shit, that's scary because now what you done was you done told white America that these people are dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, do my fellow patriots see me as this? You know, I even made TikTok. You know, I stitched that video and made a TikTok last night. I'm like, do my fellow patriots really see me as dangerous? You know, before you get a chance to know me, you look at me and be like, that could be a murderer right there. Because I mean, shit, I could say the same thing just about anybody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I've been here, I will say, for the good percentage of my adult, and I'll say my adult life, I've lived in a primarily black area, Latino. I haven't had these problems that are seen on the media, which I do believe are a huge problem. The media sucks ass all day, and I'll keep saying it because I haven't had the worst thing that's happened that I can say that's irritating is men. And when I say that, I mean a lot of them try to, hey, let me get your number, that type of thing. You know, that's really the worst encounter I've had. But for the most part, people are kind, humble. I mean, I did see a chick pull a gun on another girl at the gas station, and you know, but most recently, the most gun carriers I've seen have been women, Ricky. Women.
Really?
Yeah, around here it's been more women than men.
I would imagine that they would have to, though. I mean, think about it. You're a woman, and I'm a big dude, right?
Right.
I mean, you're out by yourself, and I try to do something to you. You're not, unless you're like some kind of kung fu expert. You're gonna have to have some kind of leverage over me.
A kung fu expert. No.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen small people that were like good in kung fu whoop some ass. You know what I'm saying? But you
Yeah.
know, well, shit. There's a guy, Jimmy Mooney, on TikTok. You know, I'm gonna be visiting him here in a couple of weeks. You know, he's a martial artist, little guy. You know what I'm saying? But that motherfucker, I wouldn't want to fight him. The guy that trained me in kung fu, I wouldn't want to fight him. So unless you're some kind of martial arts expert, you gotta have something on you to protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, it definitely is. I would say it's it's obviously getting a little bit scary, right? Not just on a basis of people killing each other. I mean, just everything all together, which will lead to that eventually anyway.
Oh yeah. And that's what scares me, is because I think that it's going to get worse before it gets better, because nobody wants to own up to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to own up to their shit. They want to deflect this shit on other people. The thing that I've noticed, the hypocrisy, because some people say I just read a comment in your chat room that says trying to debate a libtard is pointless. So is trying to debate a clown-servative or a coon-servative, because they know what they're doing when they try to engage in a debate, and then they start playing word acrobatics, and then it gets to the point where when you corner them, they just start insulting you because they run out of gas. That's on both sides of the aisle. But when you start looking at this whole thing that America set up at nowadays, I mean, people are losing money, they're losing their incomes. We're seeing, like, income after income, people quitting their jobs because they don't want to take the jab. I mean, people are going to start doing whatever by any means necessary to eat. You know,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean, you got a family, so either be honest or go down there to that grocery store and take what you need to feed your family. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's only fair to put it out on the to put it out on the table. And I know that people will say it's not worth talking to this group, it's not worth talking to that group, but if we don't communicate, we don't get anywhere. So how do we progress without being able to communicate? We don't have to always agree, but I think there has to be some type of common ground. Now, I can't really argue this factor because I've seen it, right? I'm not arguing your position at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I agree. I think it is dangerous because I feel as if it's disingenuous. We all have problems. Um,
And you know
I
how much I
did.
love Trump, right? But if Trump continues to endorse these conservatives, I'm done with him. I'm done with him. Fuck Trump. You know what I'm saying? If that's the way, if he can't damn keep his dogs, in check, then fuck him. But someone says that conservatives are free thinkers and liberals are followers. No, because what happens when you say fuck Trump? Oh no, man! What you mean, fuck Trump? You abandoning your position? They will follow this man to the gates of hell. They'll
Not
follow this
me.
man to the gates of hell, and he's not even the president anymore.
Somebody mentioned that oh, if Trump could run and put Candace as the vice president, I said, nope, I'm out.
Right, because you
I
see how
won't vote.
dangerous that is. And I don't think too many people would vote for Trump if that was to happen. These clown conservatives will, these conservatives will, but it's not that many of them. You feel me? It's not as many
Yeah.
of them as the media is blowing it up to be. I mean, the media pumps these people up because these are the mouthpieces for their agenda when they're online. There's no way in hell. I mean, think about it. They always hang around the places where they know they can get an audience. For instance, there's a reason why these conservatives and these clown conservatives, these popular clown conservatives and coon conservatives, are on Twitter and on TikTok instead of on Parler and Telegram, because they know that they can't get that mixture of an audience on Twitter. They'll be in their echo chamber. You see what I'm saying? They know that they won't get that much attention. They know that there are real conservatives that will put them in check. They know that there are real, melanated conservatives that will put them in check and won't listen to their foolishness.
Have you ever heard of somebody named what do they call him? TVA. TV. The village arsonist. That's his name. You ever heard of him?
Never heard of him.
He's a conservative. That would be somebody for you to do a show. You guys would probably do a good show. You seem to be very parallel in thinking. I think if you two connected, I don't know how I could make that. I probably could make that happen somehow. But yeah, I think you guys would do a great show together.
Yeah, I'm having to actually start all over from scratch because I'm not going to touch my main YouTube account for a good while before, I want to make sure those strikes are off before I actually go and fuck with that channel again. I'm trying to build this channel up though, the one that I'm working with now, because I mean, it seems like they're throwing stones at that channel. But one of the things that I had to come out and confess is that I was grifting. You know what I'm saying? Some of my talking points, people don't believe this. Okay, my Confederate battle flag, Kelly, you make me confess. God damn it.
Make you confess.
But now when I first put my Confederate flag backdrop up, right? If you look at some of my older videos on my other channel, I was talking like I was mimicking Jason Black from the Black Authority. I was using his talking points with the Confederate flag behind me, right?
Okay.
And all of these damn clown conservatives were sending me money. Now I got some conservatives now, with no disrespect to the conservatives that were sending me money. Like, I got my friend Lisa. I got Lisa that donated to me. What's her name? Donna Z donated to me. These are conservatives. My producer is a conservative, but I had some straight up clown conservatives sending me money as well. Like, I like your talking points, and I'm like, yeah, I got all this. I didn't tell them this, but I got all those talking points from the Black Authority.
Black Authority. I know he reminds me of the guy in the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Never seen the man, and I used to joke. I'm not gonna say that joke on live air, but yeah, I've never seen him. Never seen him.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody has somewhere, but I've heard him. Actually, the funniest was when somebody sent me a clip of RBR called into his show. That was hilarious. He played ball with him for a little bit, and then he booted him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably how you got famous, because anytime you call that show, people are coming like subscribe to your channel. And the funny part is, it's kind of like these clown conservatives, they'll ask dumb questions like, well, because white people like, these coon conservatives, well, what's wrong with them? And I'm like, okay, then y'all keep them. But at the end of the day, don't go spouting your fucking talking points that you learn from them and think you got to pass the damn disrespect me because you listen to these fucking coon conservatives. Because I'll put you together real quick. You know what I'm saying? But when they get to doing that dumb shit, though, these clowns, these coon conservatives, they're only there so these damn racist ass clown conservatives can, they're selling them N-word passes pretty much and saying the shit that they wish they could say. And then be like, well, I didn't say it. Candace Owens said it. Officer Tatum said it. Or I didn't say it. ABL said it. But, if you got, then it'd be like, well, these are people that are trying to show you this, that, and the third. Like, first off, get out of black people's business. We respected Malcolm X. We respected Huey P. Newton. You know what I'm saying? We respected Medgar Evers. If Candace Owens was to catch a bullet today, which that would be too quick of a death for her. I mean, if she was to fucking die of a slow death, I would laugh the whole time because she's that much of a despicable person. But if you was to catch someone,
you're rough.
She's that despicable. But I don't think that any black people would show up to her funeral unless they was coming there to try to take her place and, be take her place to be the next grifter in line. That's it. How many black people, that would just come up and be like, yeah, man, we're going to miss her. You won't see a crowd of black people there. You'll see a bunch of Peckerwoods. Peckerwoods talking about she was a good black leader. And all the black people are like, no, she can't come back for that shit.
Man, see, truth be told, I haven't listened to this lady enough to know much of anything about her other than the talking points. I think I seen a clip of when she argued with Cardi B. I don't tend to listen to people that I know what the narrative is.
Yeah.
And if I don't like it, I just don't listen, because I understand that everybody has the right to freedom of speech. And, I want to get, if I don't like it, I don't find it entertainment. I don't want to have anything to do with it, but that's me. you know? And not to say that I don't care about others, you know, how this would potentially affect others, because I do, but what am I going to do about it? You know, because I really don't want to stop anybody from that. You know, I don't like the idea of cancel culture.
I
Like
don't either.
we
But
can
see,
just cancel people. But I'm
but
not going to lie. I hate when I hear people say the community. What the
yeah.
fuck is that? What the fuck is that? It drives me up a fucking wall, literally.
The community.
Yeah, the community. Like, what is that?
Well, basically, they're talking about the lower class of melanated people. They're not talking about like the melanated community altogether, because we have. That's kind of like saying I'm exiting the trailer park for white people. That's what it translates to.
Oh,
Yeah, because I mean, what do you have in your trailer park? Trailer trash. You see what I'm saying? So basically, that's what they're saying. What you got in the hood, a bunch of damn thugs. But that's just a basic way of saying we don't deal with them folks. But when you're dealing with, this area that we're living in now in this political environment, you got to look at the signs here. Now, these clown conservatives and coon conservatives both, they will follow their designated leader to the grave. You can tell them, hey, this person is a CIA agent, and you can show them proof. Just like a liberal, they'll shut down communication. Why? Because that person is giving them something that they feel. Everybody votes on feelings. You see what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if you're a conservative or a Democrat or a liberal or whatever. Everybody votes on their feelings. So basically, with the whole thing with Donald Trump, the reason I voted for him and that I supported him over Jeb Bush, which he got me away from the Bush dynasty, was because, damn, he was just raw with his delivery.
right,
And he
right.
wasn't telling any lies.
No, that's for me too. I'm like, yes, finally, somebody who can, at least portray you're telling me some truth. You
Right.
know, I I don't like to hear, my stuff painted and decorated. I want it raw and uncut.
Now, the funny part, this is where it gets weird. When I was on TikTok, the Negro Net was telling these clowns, the clown conservatives, that I was grifting. They was like, he's just a grifter. He's just a grifter. And I'm looking at them like, well, y'all shut the fuck up here. Y'all fucking up my earn. I could make, $300 within a matter of 45 minutes just renting in my truck, right? Spitting out the same talking points that Jason Black did. The only reason they was hearing it from me was because they saw me with the Confederate flag. That was it, right? I
Wow.
came out and confessed that I was grifting, still with the Confederate battle flag behind me. Oh, it's okay. You're telling the truth. Took the Confederate battle flag down, confessed that I was grifting. You're a snake in the grass. Showed them my arm, my power fist on my arm. Yeah, I was grifting you guys the whole time. Thank you. You helped me pay off my vehicle, my truck and my boat. So, yeah, you get people. But I was grifting. I don't really feel this way. What? No, I don't hate black people. Sorry. Oh, you're a snake in the grass. Yeah, but what makes me more evil? Who's more evil here? Me for sitting here grifting you because I knew you was gonna pay me if I gave you half-assed information, or you for feeling that way and wanting me to be the one to deliver it to you? Who's grifting? I love that shit, man. I made them clown conservatives look so fucking stupid today. And they're sitting here like, we can't believe this. We're unfollowing you. I don't give a fuck if you follow me or not.
Mm.
You
See,
know,
the thing for me, I didn't come here to be. Look, I tried to. I know this may sound corny, but I didn't want to be any different on YouTube than I am in real life. I know for a lot of people, it's lights, camera, action.
yeah.
I might clean up my voice a little bit as far as try to lay off the cuss words as much, but I just want to be me. It's a good sounding board, I think. You know, uh, I didn't come with an agenda. Let's just say that. Because I
Well,
see a lot of people that, for example, and I'm not even going to use any name in this because it doesn't matter, but they'll have a rhetoric and they stick to it. Okay. But it'll be like the same women that they say they hate and can't stand. But
mm-hmm,
that's the same chick that's on their arm when they're showing videos. Okay.
mm-hmm.
It's people on here have made it very clear that this is just a hustle for them, and they don't feel that way. And their supporters still support them because it's all about the message. I have heard this from YouTubers. Like, you know what it is for me? I'm just here to make my money. And
Right.
and it's like, wait a minute. You just told everybody you're here to make money, and this isn't really how you feel, but they're still support. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind. It really does. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm weird. I
Because
don't know.
I'm gonna give you a good reason. Because I mean, like the people that are in my inner circle, the regulars on my show, they know my game. You know what I'm saying? They know my game, and it's like they know they see my genuine side, but they also see, but people that are onlooking, suspecting people I could grift, or that I used to could grift, because I can't do it anymore. I can't speak in that harsh tone about black people anymore. And the reason why is because I don't want to radicalize these people. They're already radicalized as fuck right now, and they're not going to get that kind of information from me. Um, so I'm I want to say now my whole thing is I'm a pro melanated conservative, meaning that I want to do the best for from my stance, because yeah, white supremacy is real, and I'm not letting my guard down. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was funny because when I first started my grift, I told my old lady, I said, you know what? When I started my YouTube channel, I started vlogging again around April of 2020, right? And I'm saying the same things that I'm saying now. I said, hold on, let me get a fucking Southern Heritage flag and put behind me to see if I can really get to these people. And my old lady was like, and I started making these jokes in the truck, right? When I got the flag and everything. She goes, you got to be careful, because those same white people that, you you're going to be grifting from, they're going to have a different opinion about you when they're going to have those same opinions about you when you disagree with them. Like, okay.
Whew.
So I did the grift on TikTok for about a year. I mean, first account at 1.5 million, I felt like a rock
But
star.
if you're okay, so if you're coming forth and telling people this, okay, how many people aren't telling that? You know what I mean?
What you
How,
mean?
meaning that if you're coming forth and saying, this is what I did, this is what happened, and you're admitting it, okay, you're coming clean about it.
Yeah.
How many people are still doing this? Because potentially you're setting people up for a huge fail, right?
Yep.
So, and I don't want to see that happen either, by any means, because it doesn't just, you know, um, that's scary for me, right? When I think about that. Yeah, I can talk all the cash money bullshit I want, but at the end of the day, I don't really want to see that happen. I don't. I want people to be able to still survive out here. And if the fear of power being taken gets to a level of no return, we're going to be in big trouble.
Right. Well, see, the thing is with me, the reason that I stopped the grift, is because, okay, these people might do something that looks like somebody that may look like me. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll say, well, I heard it from Ricky Manor. Now Ricky Manor is in, trouble. You see what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
or not in trouble, but I have to live with that on my conscience, that somebody who looked like me, whose parents probably look like mine, have to bury their child because I radicalized some idiot fucking racist damn clown conservative to go out there and play, cowboy. No, I don't, I had to slow my roll there. Um, But there are a lot of people that don't look at it that way. I'm seeing America change to the point that there are a lot more people that are brave. I mean, motherfuckers are getting brave now. And when I say that, um, there's some brave people out there now. I mean, these people empower them to say the shit and live the way that they would live if it was the 1960s. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
no, I get it.
And if you listen, but I'm gonna, for all the white folks that are listening, you clown servitors, let me show you how. Let me let you know how you can pick up on a grifter. They say the same talking points. They say the same talking points. They don't talk about anything else other than race relations, or they might talk about the Fauci ouchie, but they say the same shit. And guess how they get their talking points? They listen to you. They listen to you and repeat back to you what They might follow your social media. You might say something brilliant, and they'll come back and say, I was just thinking today about the Fauci ouchie, and they'll quote back verbatim what they read off your social media page. And you can be thinking to yourself, like, man, this guy understands me. He knows me. But to me, the grift was seeing how long I could do it, how much money I could make doing it. You know what I'm saying? But then in the grift, I met genuine people that, we became like family. If you see my chat room, you see the same people there every night. Those are like family to me. And, whenever I'm not around, they, email me, call me and be like, yo, Ricky, where you at? How you doing? We haven't heard from you in a while. I mean, Lisa
See,
D.
that's why Mo got kicked out of the club, because he wouldn't change himself. See,
Yeah.
he's not willing to compromise to be somebody different other than who he is just for their liking. No, I'm not going to clean up my talk. No, I'm not going to stop smoking weed. No, I'm not going to stop drinking. Too fucking bad. If you want to kick me out of the club, and he actually lives the life, he believes it. Okay. He, and it's crazy to me to think that people have enough power to even do that. All these things were promised. We're going to get out there in the streets. We're going to go to Compton. We're going to talk to the people. None of that should happen. And then everybody wonders, well, how did this even happen? Yeah, it's possible. At this point, I'm still with the selected, not elected. Okay. Because
let me tell you what Blackset wanted to do for me. They wanted to make me the next King Face. They wanted me to be King Face's replacement. That's how it came across to me. And I said, no. Now, when you want to talk about the money they was ready to pay me to promote my YouTube channel, and they was going to rebuild a YouTube channel from scratch.
Man.
They wanted me to get rid of the producer that I have now because they said, no, we're going to be taking care of you. My producer is not just my producer. She's my friend. And everything that this whole thing that they was asking me to do was a whole hell of a lot more complicated. They was getting ready to drop 6 figures in my bank account. And I said, no.
See, that is so dangerous. That is so dangerous. Man.
I don't want people hating me like they hated King Face. When he died, everybody was like, fuck King Face, burn in hell, blah, blah, blah. I don't want people thinking about me like that.
Wow, man.
They wanted me to be the next King Face. They wanted me to be the next, Billy Badass that goes out there wearing the MAGA gear and talking to, the street jive and shit. But that's not me. I'm still punk rock in my day, in my older years, but I'm not to the point where I was in my 20s, where I'd say what the fuck ever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that kind of lifestyle will come with consequences. You go to restaurants and people look at you. People stop where I'm at right now in Charleston, and they'll come to me and be like, I like you. I see you on TikTok, because that's where I gained all my fame, not my YouTube channel. I see you on TikTok. You keep it real, and they'll pay for my meals. Had one guy pay for my gas. I was getting ready to slide my card in the damn machine, and he came up and says, no, I got you. He slid his credit card in and said, fill it up, and sat there and talked to me. So if I got that kind of hatred on me, Can you imagine the danger that I'd be in? Instead of meeting all of these friendly faces, I'd be meeting a lot of enemies out there. And even though I'm a big man, you say the right shit that pisses the wrong people off. Let me be the one that went on national television saying that black people are the most murderous race of people. Here in Charleston, I'd be fucked. These Geechee Gullas will whoop my ass. I might be able to take on one or two of them, maybe three of them.
Yeah,
They'll come
yeah,
out in the fucking,
you're in
you
that
know,
territory.
you
Wow.
know. So when they, they was wanting me to work with these people, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna put me up on stage to be your fucking, puppet. I can't do it. I'm not, I'm not cut out for that. Well, what do you mean, man? You do so good on TikTok, and we watched you on YouTube, and you got this website. And I'm like, you know who paid for that website? My producer did. Who designed that website? My producer did. Who puts in hours after hours on end behind the scenes? My producer does. And I'd rather stay this small than to get that big. I'd rather stay this small and be loved than to get that big and be hated.
Oh my God.
You see what I'm saying?
So, I'm just kind of blown by the whole idea of, we'll put this much money in your bank account if you do X, Y,
they're
Z.
ready to drop 6 figures on me.
Like, stick to the script.
But I do good with my own business that I run. So, I mean, I'm looking at it like, well, I really don't need that kind of money. You can't pay me enough to do that kind of dumb shit.
You know what? I'll be honest and say this. I never assumed, okay, I knew there was probably a couple YouTubers that were, let's say, in too deep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I didn't ever imagine that it runs that far. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine going places? And I wish I didn't have that kind of fame on me now, where I'll be sitting in my car chilling, or just doing the regular thing. I was with my oldest son not too long ago, and I'm seeing these people and they're looking at me, and I'm always, I'm trained that way. I'm always looking for potential danger. That's why it sucks if I was to try to smoke reefer, because I'm so paranoid. I'm never on, what's the word I'm looking for, relax mode. Even when I'm asleep at night, if the least little thing, the cat jumps off the counter in the house and I hear a bump on the floor, I'm up and I'm like, what the fuck's going on in my house? You see what I'm saying? But you'll see people looking and they'll stop and they'll stare at you. And then they'll just come walk up to you and start talking to you. And it's like, oh, okay. But I don't want to be the guy that they walk up to and be like, man, you're full of shit.
My dad has always been anti-gun his whole life. Okay. Never liked them. When I went to see him this last time before Thanksgiving, he was like, I kind of showed him a couple clips. And he was like, if you're going to be involved in something like that, you need to consider. I'm like, Dad, you're not telling me nothing new. But for him to say that was very, kind of a little bit disturbing for me, because my dad is anti-gun, and he's always been a Republican. He just doesn't like guns. And I was like, wow, I don't know. I've learned a lot through this, a lot. And I don't know. I'm sticking to who I am.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
I mean, because I still like it to the point that, even though my speech may come off a little unpolished, but there are Black people that will come to my channel and be like, I want to hear what he has to say. And I could, and I could reach out to them and I could talk to them behind the scenes. That's the title that I want. I don't want that. If I was to elevate bigger doing what I do now, this is the way I want to elevate bigger in it. I don't want to elevate to the point where Black people see me and be like, my fellow melanated people see me and be like, fuck you, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at this moment in time where I'm at right now, other melanated people can come to me. I mean, shit, I got Mario J on the Tough Love podcast, Rocket Man, Rocket Matrix, Lawrence, all of these people, these different melanated people that come to me. And, a big name in the game on the YouTube streets who actually promoted me was a girl by the name of Fabe. She's up there from where you guys are from. Now, she's not a conservative, but she likes my message. and it rains with her. You see what I'm saying?
What is her channel based on?
She does a lot of YouTube gossip, like drama gossip. And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so but the thing is, she's like my Seinfeld. You know, she got a show that's absolutely about nothing, but it's entertaining.
Okay.
But
Well, hey, I seen another chick that blew my mind. She is like an airhead dingbat, right?
mhm.
Little cute. I'll say a little cute, and I'm not being mean. Um, and people love her. She's got endorsements. I'm like, wow, she's a complete freaking airhead with nothing to offer other than, oh, I'm depressed today, so I'm gonna sit on the park bench and watch the birds. And it works for her though. I guess she pulls it off. People like it.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, everybody have their niche. Mine is being brutally honest, but being able to reach out to people. Like if somebody says I'm going to email you, that's what my email is there for. And when somebody emails me, you know, as soon as I get a chance, because I mean, but trying to run two companies and work on the starter company with my producer, it gets, you know, it gets bogging sometimes. So like I could wake up, but by the time I'm done exercising at 10 o'clock, it could be like it happened that way today. I woke up this morning, exercised, started my work day. You know what I'm saying? Looking at everything. I didn't even get a chance to look at my emails from my website or anything. You know, next thing I know, I looked up and I'm like, whoa, shit! I better plug my microphone into the laptop and call Kelly. You know,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean the days go by that fast. You know, and it's like when I start, but my old lady told me that she would love it if I done this full time because she says that would be your thing. You would be happy about what you do. You like getting shit off your chest, and you know that's why we're trying to build the Melanated Rebel News Network up. And I'm thinking of rebranding because I don't want that Confederate battle flag to run off potential people that will listen to me. You see what I'm saying? So I got to do a little bit of rebranding on that part. And actually, I might go with something more patriotic on the background, but I want to be able to reach every crowd possible. You see what I'm saying? I just
Right.
don't want to reach. I don't want to reach for the conservative crowd because you have a lot of clown conservatives in the conservative crowd. That's the only reason they want to listen to you speak is because they're waiting on you to put down black people. I don't want to reach everybody from the liberal crowd. I kind of want to have a place where everybody can come and feel like they can speak their mind without it being a rough environment. You see what I'm saying? Because what people don't like, what I'm saying, what people don't understand is that our liberal counterparts, they're our fellow Americans too. They have the right to their opinion. They have the right to express themselves. So I think that and everybody says that the liberals they believe in cancel culture. Well, it was the conservatives believing in cancel culture in the 80s and the 90s. Look at how many rock concerts got canceled here in South Carolina because the conservatives said that Rob Zombie and fucking Marilyn Manson were satanic. They can't come here. You see what I'm saying? And they would actually buy out the arena the night whenever they were supposed to book just to keep them from coming. So I mean, everybody's about cancel culture. The thing is, and that's one thing I tell everybody: we're all hypocrites. We're all hypocrites.
I want life to be simple too. I really do. It never turns out that way, but I would like it to be simple also. And yes, everybody is hypocritical at times. I do agree to that.
Yeah, I mean, we're all hypocritical. I mean, it's kind of like when you look at this whole thing that happened down in what was that, Houston, the Astro World or something like that. They were like, oh man, that concert, it was a satanic sacrifice. But what the people are not understanding is how long have rock concerts been going on where people got trampled on and the artists that came were fucking representing the devil. I've been to Kiss concerts before back in the day. My first concert was David Lee Roth and Poison. My second concert was Kiss. My first rap concert was what is it? Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock and DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Shit happens at concerts. It just does. It's just nothing that's changing about the world. But the thing is, a lot of the clown conservatives have become freaking conspiracy theorists.
Wow.
you know, and
Mm.
what is it? Carolyn says, I see that as a fact, not cancel. Who they worship is who they support. Ah, let's see.
I don't want to worship anybody. I'm not like to idolize. I don't want to do any of that.
Right.
I don't want to idolize anybody.
And see, I'm the type of person that I like to be called out on my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I love Lisa D. I love Melissa. You know what I'm saying? I love these guys. I love Rocket Man, Rocket Matrix, Mario J. All these people that see me on a regular basis. I love these guys because I mean, country living. He goes by the name Daddy Rabbit. I love those guys. We ate dinner together in North Carolina. At my producer's house. And it felt great just being able to see them face to face and just like be able to give hugs and whatnot. What's his name? Night Stalker. Talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so basically, it becomes a family in my room.
Right.
And it's like they know my opinion on things, and I felt this humble like when I did that video on the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting. I felt humble enough that I could actually break down crying in front of them. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm on the air. And I had to put the screen up because that was heartbreaking. Because I don't,
Oh, you said Laquan McDonald?
No, Ma'Khia Bryant, the girl who was shot. Yeah, the girl who was shot, she was stabbing, she was getting ready to stab that other girl with the knife. But it was saddening, I just couldn't be like, well, she was playing stupid. No, that was still a child. I got a soft spot for kids, man. Like, that's my biggest weakness. If you want to know my biggest weakness, I have a soft spot for kids because I myself am a big kid.
Right.
So yeah, I'm looking at it like you look at this world and the way it is. I mean, somebody in the chat room says, Ricky, so I'm a conspiracy theorist, but Astroworld was full of occult symbolism. Most rock musicians are satanic, and they admit it to. Yeah, but at the end of the day, how long has this shit been going on? I mean, this is not anything that has happened brand new. Now, when we talk about conspiracy theories, I did a couple of conspiracy theory shows on my channel, and I got them uploaded on the website. Because when people talk about reading the Bible, that Bible isn't what you think it is. That's not a storybook. That's not a history book, and it's not a bunch of parables. That Bible actually says some things that if you know how to get the esoteric meaning out of it, and once you see it, you'll be looking at it in a whole different light.
I haven't been patient enough to sit down and read it all, I'll be honest.
Oh man, when I first picked up what I call the keys, when I got the keys to it, I wanted to sit there and read it all day long.
Well, help me. I need to learn.
No, when you get the keys, you're going to be looking at it like, whoa. You're going to look at your preacher like, whoa. And you'll see the world for what it is, and you're going to be like, whoa.
I still suffer from how do I say it? I don't know. I just have too much sometimes I think I have too much regard for human life, period. Like I always feel inspired to want to help. Like Captain saved the day. So that's one of my flaws.
You're not one of those white saviors, are you?
Yeah, you said that to me. You weren't white knighting, were you? But I wouldn't call it that because it's not one particular group I want to save. It's just in my instinct to want to help.
And that's what burns me up about these white knights, though. The white knights will be like, we got to go help those poor little black kids. I'm like, but you got innocent children that's living in these fucking trailer parks with holes in the floors, meth labs blowing up next to them, blowing windows out and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass over there. Don't ignore them. Let us do us. You do you. You feel me? Like
nothing. Well, I feel like nothing's gonna get solved if we don't engulf ourselves in, how do I say it? I like animals more than I do humans.
There's nothing wrong with that. You're a sociopath. What?
I mean, I was, you know, it's, I don't know what to say. I guess they're more comforting. They don't talk back. Not to
My
say,
wife is that way.
yeah,
Her cats are like her kids. I seen her one of the vet bills when she had to like get the cat a major operation, and she had to work. I had to go pick the cat up from the vet, and before the vet closed, and I'm sitting there signing the bill. They was like, "Yeah, your girl done good in surgery today." I looked at that bill. I said, "This ain't my girl."
oh wow.
And I looked at that vet bill and looked at that cat, and I was like, huh. Before I spent $1,200, but she loves those cats, so it's like she'd rather have them cats than to have other human beings around. That makes any
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, no, absolutely. I will say, I just had my son, and I was saying to myself, dang, I didn't get any pictures. I didn't even go on the live. And then I thought, you know what? Everything ain't for everybody.
Right.
You know, it's like, as much as I admire him, love him, and maybe I'm biased because I'll say, oh, my handsome son, I created such a beautiful thing. But all parents think that. And
Oh, my boys are some of the most handsome kids in the world. They are fucking handsome, man. It's like, and the women never let them forget it either.
but
They are
then,
like badass.
yeah, yeah, that, and I was like, it was important for us to spend that time together, and it wasn't. I didn't need to. Like I said, everything ain't for everybody.
Well,
So
you got to have somewhat of a private life because you give away so much of your private life on here.
yeah,
And but like I remember one time I was in where was that? I was in Gatlinburg and my son was in the car with me, and I did a TikTok and I immediately deleted that video. And the reason why is because not everybody need to be seeing my son.
yep,
You see what I'm saying? Not everybody need to be seeing my boy. Like, these are complete strangers online. They don't need to be knowing what he looked like. Because I'd be the type of person that somebody starts trolling my son. I'm not going to sit here and play keyboard warrior. I'm going to start doing some information. I'm going to go find somebody.
and I will tell you, whoever you are. Let me say this real quick. Whoever you are amongst the camp that gets this info quick, fast, in a hurry, I love you. Shout out to you. And I am so, so thankful that we have excellent team players. I love y'all, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even know where to start. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Really?
I honestly, me and Mo have the best people, I think. And I'm sure other YouTubers think this too. They have their group and they love them. It is what it is. Like you said, they're like your family, right?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, they're just awesome. If somebody potentially said something that is threatening to me, somebody else that you would take serious, believe me, they're on it. They are on it, and the info comes fast. It's like, this is him. This is what he's about. This is where he's from. This is his info. It's like, dang, how the heck did you do that so fast? And I love him for it. You know, very excellent supporters. I mean, they're just, and everything isn't about money. Yes, it's nice. Times are hard. And I understand that everybody can't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Me myself, I'm trying to, help my dad, help my son. Money just goes so fast. You know it. We all know it.
Even
Um,
even where I'm at in life right now, it goes fast. What my problem is, there are bills that I forget to pay. It's not that I don't have the money to pay. I forget to pay them. I
well, I wish
wait until
I
I
had
get the
that
phone
problem.
call. Huh?
I wish I had that problem.
No, I mean that too in itself is problematic. You feel me? Because there'll be times like, wait a minute, I know I gotta pay for this office furniture here, but what did I do with the goddamn bill? Now, instead of taking time out of my day to look for the bill, because my desk is cluttered with all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, I put my folders on one side. You won't understand my filing system. If I showed you my workspace, you'll be like, what the hell? But I know my fouling system. I got that fouling system down pat. Um, there'd be days where I just be like, fuck it, I'd rather pay the 35 extra bucks and wait till the day they call me. So the bill will get paid. Just, it's more convenient if they call me, or I could pay it online, but I really never have time. It's like,
yeah, if you have bills like that, that's hard. But sometimes, like I was gonna say that, the support is outweighs the money. Yes,
love you too, Lisa D.
yes, love you too. I didn't even say anything to the chat, and I'm sorry because I got engulfed in the conversation. But hey to everybody. Hey Jay, hey Kelly, Lisa, Carolyn, John, everybody that's here. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's awesome when you have a team like that. It's you can't compensate for it,
No, and it's like when you look at things that you do with your day-to-day life, kind of like when you guys went out to Kenosha. I was like, man, I gotta throw some money their way because that I knew that y'all was out there and it was cold and shit.
Yeah, man. I was like, fuck this! I'm freezing my ass off.
Hey Kelly, I swear to God, nothing was funnier than when you played that game on Mo. And Mo had this look on his face like, oh my God, the car is gone. And I'm
Right,
thinking to
I left
myself,
him for real.
yeah. I'm like, Mo want to get the hell out of there before that not guilty verdict come in. He been fucking with them BLM people and them Antifa people. They'll come looking for him.
Well, and that's the reason. That's probably the reason my dad said, yeah, if you're gonna do that kind of stuff, you're crazy, but you better be prepared and careful.
Yeah, because see, here's the thing: those Antifa people, they don't play, and they go for the gusto, they go for the jugular. So if living that kind of life that you're doing, what we do, like going to these different events and stuff, this is dangerous work. People see it from the other side. Like when I
Yes,
was in
sir.
DC, they're like, hey man, get closer to the fight. I'm like, I'm not getting over there. You know what I'm saying? Because the first night we were there, I didn't know who anybody was. The PBs, they wasn't even in their color. So I didn't know if this big old fight that broke out in the street was Antifa, who was Antifa, who were PBs. And when they were talking about, people in the chat room, like, get closer to the fight. I'm like, hell no, I'm not getting closer to the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, quit being scared. I don't know who is who. I wasn't, I didn't have anything patriotic on to let them know that, hey, I'm not Antifa. I'm, because that's one of the biggest things that I get when I'm at some of these events. They'll think that I'm Antifa and I'm just another patriot. You feel me? So it's kind of like, I don't, and then I make the mistake with them. I see some white guy with long hair and a big old fucking stoner beard, and I'm thinking to myself, that's Antifa. Let me be on the lookout, The craziest thing though, and this is if I was a single man, and it's funny because people say, there's a hatred for like Antifa, but there was this one chick with Antifa, she was gorgeous. And in the midst of everything, we just stopped and looked at each other, like checking each other out, like, like, and we actually stopped to talk to each other for like 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I'm a married man, but I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, but if that connection could have been made right there, like in the streets of Washington, where it was a war zone pretty much, can you imagine what we could accomplish if we say, let's put our differences aside?
Wow, yeah.
Let me hear what you got to say. Let's talk this out. It doesn't have to end this way. Kind of like what I did with the black guy in DC. He had to have been about 18 or 19 years old, and he was getting ready to square off with me. And there's this white liberal buddy sitting there with a fucking camera phone recording us. And I said, listen, I didn't come for you. I came for him. And I said, and I'm going to get to him if I got to go through you, but I'm coming for him. And he backs off talking about, have at him, brother. Dude looked at him and looked at me and took off running. I said, you see what the fuck I'm talking about now? I said, here we are. You know what I'm saying? Melanated men getting ready to damn knock each other around. And he was going to be the one entertained from it. Do you know what that reminds me of? The Mandingo fights.
Oh, some of that was horrible. Yeah, that was awful.
I said where we was just gonna act like dogs to be, and fight to that man's pleasure, at the pleasure of this man who was getting ready to get his rocks off, seeing us beat the shit out of each other. And we sat there and talked for like 45 minutes to an hour. And when we walked away from each other, we hugged. And I was like, "You be safe out there, brother." He said, "You do the same, brother." We walked away. He lived across the river in Virginia. And he told me his reasoning for joining BLM. And I gave him the manifesto. I pulled it up on my phone and said, "This is the manifesto. You as a black man, this isn't where you're supposed to be. Not saying for you to join my team, but this team right here is the wrong team for you. They want to eradicate you from the household. They don't think that much of you."
Oh, I didn't. You know what, Ricky? Let me stop for 1 second. You know what? Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, Princess, for the donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I didn't even see that. So I apologize. I hope Lisa's still listening.
Oh, she'll come back and listen to the rest of it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
That's what she usually does, because she works late at night, and Country Living, he does the same thing. Like, he'll work late at night and then he'll come back and listen to the whole thing while he's at work.
Well, I appreciate it because it helps with the the watch time, the hours, people watching the whole video through. So I really appreciate it.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I don't get into internet drama. The one night that I got overly aggravated on my channel, because I had to listen to fucking, what's his name? L.A. Thorne's tap dancing and his coonery. And then I let, what's the guy's name that I let on the call that night? Fuck. But Lisa B was like, I read the chat later, and Lisa B was like disgusted with this guy. Mo was disgusted with him. What was that man's name? They said that he was making all kind of racial jokes and shit.
Oh, the white guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet they were talking about JB Gunner, probably.
Is that him? JB Gunner? I don't remember the name. No, it was Trailer Park Voodoo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What did he do or say that everybody was disgusted with him?
Man. Basically, to be honest with you, I gotta jog my memory I know one thing.
Because I know Mo did a video. I didn't even see it.
He read a list of pedo jokes that he found offline. And then it was some kind of racist skit, and it was very, very distasteful. And yeah, that's the story, basically.
Oh, see, I didn't know any of that. And like, I was already in the middle of shit. And then when I added him on the call, I got to the point where I don't like to let more than 4 people on at a time, including myself, because people get to talking over each other and you can never get anything said. And, here it was, I'm on my own show, and motherfuckers thought that they could talk over me, and I'm like, this ain't going to work.
Well, to say that, I also want to say, and that'll show you a lot of people will, I don't like dissension at all. Okay. I absolutely hate it. Meaning I'm not the type of girl that's going to be on here, calling people out left and right. Now, if you fuck with me enough, it's a possibility, because I'm not perfect. I try to ignore that when people do that. But, different strokes for different folks. I'll say what, I'm not good at, how do I say it? I don't like to make people feel uncomfortable or like alienate them. I'm just too nice. You know what I mean? Like, I want everybody to get along. I feel bad about every single thing. It's like, man, like I feel like I can't win, because and I'm not going to say that I'm a people pleaser because I'm not. I just don't like people arguing, you know? And unfortunately, there's just things that people aren't going to like and they're not going to side with, you know? And
Right.
it's like I feel bad about all of it, and I didn't even do, like it wasn't my fault. It just, it's just it was all bad all around the board, all around the board. That's it. Like you said, you don't really get into YouTube drama. I don't like to do it either. You know,
And
it
see
just
that was me because I didn't want to like mistreat him and not knowing what was going on. Everybody was like, and I wasn't paying attention to my chat but with L.A. Thorne, I told him pretty much, I kicked him out of both of my rooms. The reason why is because when you're sitting there as a melanated man that knows the struggles that our ancestors went through, and you see that somebody's trying to justify trying to bring that kind of bullshit back into existence, and you're sitting there reasoning with it, you're a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? You're dangerous. And he just kept going on and on. And I even said last night while I was broadcasting, you're not welcome to come on the call. You're not welcome in my chat room. Just don't fuck with me. If I tell you don't fuck with me, if in reality, outside of the internet, if I say I don't fuck with you, the best thing to do when I walk away is not to ask me why. This motherfucker thought he could take it upon himself to say something in my chat room. I banned him out of there. I don't know why people think that, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I was very blunt, but I don't fuck with people like that. I'm sorry. If you're sitting there knowing, well, any human being, but especially in a racially charged situation, what happens when that's him? That let's say his car broke down and he's walking in that neighborhood trying to figure out, who can I get to help me? And, three assholes chase him down and shoot him. What happens when it's somebody that he loves? What do you do? You know what I'm saying? You want me
you're
sitting there
right.
talking about, well, he shouldn't have been in that neighborhood, and they had a right to come at him with the guns, and he should have just waited for the police. And I'm like, but it seems like whenever you talk about their idols, they make excuses. Me, on the other hand, I'm the type of person that, like, everybody knows how much of a fanboy I was for Trump. But if Trump fucks up, I'm gonna call him out on it. Like the whole deal with the whole Fauci ouchie. Here it is. People talking about, yeah, man, they talking about they don't. Well, I'm not going to speak too much on it, but it was Trump who came up with Operation Warp Speed. But they
Right.
want to, talk about Jim Crow Joe talking about the mandates. But I'm like, but it was his, predecessor who came up with the fucking, with the solution. And I'm speaking in terms
Right.
here. But yeah, it was him. It was him who came up with the solution and says, "Look, I got this done." Now, that goes to show you the conflict of information between these conservatives and even the president himself. The president himself was like, with the whole situation with what is it? The disparity between races in America. The president himself says, yes, it does exist, and it's very unfortunate. So these conservatives will come back and be like, well, black folks just need to pick themselves up by the bootstraps. Why? Because they're parroting the talking points of the people that they're catering to.
The bootstraps, the infamous bootstraps, right?
Yeah, the bootstraps. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
I'm
And everybody's
like,
like,
every time I hear that, I think about, I don't know. It's just like, wait a minute, pull
but
yourself up.
but to
Uh,
tell somebody that, because I mean me, I got tired of being broke, which is why I became an entrepreneur. I got tired of answering to other people. I got tired of people looking at me, treating me like I'm their bitch. I got tired of being left behind when people were looking out for them. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck it, I just damn build my own thing. See you guys later. But I did this in my 40s. I couldn't have done this in my 20s. I didn't have the know-how in my 20s. But you got some people that are born in better positions in life, and that's cool. But at the same time, you got to recognize not everybody come from the same background. Not everybody have the same upbringing. Not everybody, if there's a racial disparity in America, I mean, shit, think about it. Let's just say you grew up in an all white neighborhood, right? I'm just saying. and you went to a sorority and while you were in college, and so your sorority sisters come onto the job site, and I'm sitting in there, and one of your sorority sisters need to hook up to get that next promotion, even though I'm more qualified, you got to look out for your sorority sister first. And I won't fault you for that. You see what I'm saying? It's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah,
And
it
there's
is.
no there's no way that you can sign a piece of paper to change that. So you got to deal with what you got. And that's the thing that I try to tell the other melanated people. Yeah, you may not have the same advantages as people from the upper class white community, because those people in the trailer parks, they're feeling your struggles too. If you're talking about the struggles, they share your struggles. But when you start talking about the upper echelon of white folks, you're not gonna start where they started. You know what I'm saying? You're already behind the power curve. Now you got to speed up. So when they talk about this whole white privilege thing, what I do to say is this: we know that most of your higher society fraternities and whatnot, because that's, you look at the job sites that in my world, in the corporate world, that's where they hire from. Your fraternity, who do you know? What did you pledge? Did you pledge frat? All these things they ask you for on your resume, or they may come to you by reference. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yeah.
So, I mean, the whole white privilege thing to me is just a whole network that's been in place for generations. And not every person that's white is in those networks. Good night, Lisa Batario. Did I say
Sorry,
that
my
right?
cat almost escaped.
But yeah, so when we get to talking about, all the stuff about like white privilege and whatnot, it's not a racial thing per se. It's kind of like NASCAR. Your NASCAR drivers now, your team owners, those are people who's been in the sport since its very roots. How many black people ran NASCAR when it started? My favorite NASCAR driver of all times is Wendell Scott. He was a black guy in NASCAR, right? Melanated man, but when the oil companies came in, the corporate sponsorship came in, what happened? He got bought out pretty much because he couldn't afford to keep up. He didn't have the oil companies. He didn't have the car companies saying, "Hey," But what he did do, but what Wendell Scott did do, his last race, he saved up all his money. He bought a car that could compete in the freaking Talladega, wrecked the car. But at the end of the day, he was out there to compete. But did he pass that legacy on to his kids? No, because he could not afford it. Those other drivers wouldn't have been able to afford it either if they didn't have the corporate sponsorship. So now we can't just say, why aren't there any black drivers in NASCAR, which is one of my favorite sports, by the way. And
Really?
yeah, I love some NASCAR. Like,
Oh,
I've been watching NASCAR since I was a kid. That was our tradition when we came home from church. My mom would cook a meal, and while the meal was cooking, we'd sit down in front of the TV and watch the race. We'd eat our meal, and by the time we're done eating our meal and churn some ice cream, we'll go back to the television, and the race is still going on, but now they're in the final laps. And we'll sit. That was where everybody was standing up, like, who's going to win. So yeah, I mean, I love some NASCAR, but people can say, well, why aren't there black people in NASCAR? Is NASCAR racist? No, but the way that the sport developed, it wasn't developed where melanated people had a hand in the sport. It's not like basketball, where a kid can just get a basketball and a nice pair of shoes and practice every day. You know, to get into NASCAR nowadays, you got to start out from go-karting. And how many melanated families in the inner cities can afford to buy their kids a go-kart?
I had I used my dad fixed the riding lawnmower for me so I could use that. Couldn't afford no go kart.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if you take that go-kart, I mean, you couldn't take the riding lawnmower to like circuits to compete.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when people start talking about, white privilege, I give them the NASCAR model. The country was formed by, bootleggers, mainly white bootleggers from the South. And as the sport evolved, it was only a few black people that was in the sport. And then in the 1970s, the other black guy that was in the sport, they made him, he was an open wheel racer. So he was racing in Europe. And then he comes to America. And NASCAR was like, people were giving him death threats. If you race tomorrow, we're going to kill you and your family, this, that, and the third, But back at that time, it was very racist. But, not too many black people took interest in it. So now in 2021, there's only one black driver in the sport, in the main circuit. But, Bubba Wallace, which I had much respect for him until he played into the whole Black Lives Matter thing. But when you start looking at the world, the way of the world right now, okay, so no, we're not in NASCAR. So what are we going to do to get in NASCAR? You see what I'm saying? We just can't up and just say we want to drive, because you got to have years of experience. So right now, if you wanted to groom a melanated driver, then they would have to be probably about 13 years old, maybe even no younger than that, because the K&N series, those guys are like 13, 14 years old, which if you ever been to a K&N series, Kel, it would
No.
wreck your nerves, because you're seeing these babies. That's what I see when I go to the K&N series. You see these babies and these cars doing all that speed. Like, this kid's only 12, 13 years old. He's going to fuck up, something fucks up. That kid's fucked up for life. But, so you
Ooh.
need to, so basically we do have to start from scratch. And that's okay, because nowadays in 2021, we got the resources that we can do it more comfortably.
Yeah, my son just said the other day, he was like, you know what, Mom? He's like, I've came to the conclusion that there's nobody holding me back. There's nobody stopping me from accomplishing any goal other than myself. And I'm like, well, okay, it took you to 24 to realize that. But on the flip side of that, he also brought up the concept of walking down the dark alley. And I don't know if you ever heard that before.
No.
And, there used to be this saying that used to be, if you're walking down a dark alley and you have to go on one side and there's a black guy on one and a white guy on the other, which side are you going to be more comfortable on? And I even forgot about it until he reminded me of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I hate to say it, but I'm walking with the white guy. And I was like, wow, but I as much as I hate hearing that, it's like, what am I to do? I think we do the worst too as parents when we potentially are setting up our children to fail indirectly. If that makes any sense to you.
Well, the thing is, you have what they call cognitive dissonance. Like, for instance,
you mentioned that last night. Yep, you mentioned that last night.
And here's a big for instance, and I've seen this happen more times than not in my life, where I went to school at, it was a pretty mixed crowd. And then you'll see a situation where, I get into a situation with another white kid that's in our friend circle, right? You'll have white guy number A, white guy B. I get into an argument with white guy A. White guy B will say, well, Ricky, I'm staying out of this one. I'm not in this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if white guy A and B get into it, both white guy A and B wants me to get into it and get my take. Or if I get into it with white guy B, white guy A will take white guy B's side and be like, you overreacted, Ricky. You see what I'm saying? That's just a small thing. So I've always taught my kids, and in that same aspect, you can have white friends. You see what I'm saying? But don't be disappointed when you find yourself betrayed. I fucked up when I did that, because some of my best friends, up until this very day, that will help me out are white people. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I think in his generation, especially in the Midwest, it's very diverse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the people that, truth be told, these are the people that train my son how to be a shooter.
Yeah.
So he put his whole life in their hands. You know what I mean? Um, I mean, his friend's grandparents liked him so much they wanted to fly him to Scotland. You know what I mean? It's a different. I mean, I know what you're saying, and I get it, but I'm saying in like I said, I don't know if the North and South are different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, truth be told, guess who it was that robbed him? The white kid. You know,
Exactly.
so it goes, it goes both ways, and I hope that's why I think it needs to get more honest. We have to put more things on the table, clear it up, and be done with it. Because how can we move forward? We're gonna keep doing this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right. We
It'll never end.
well, I think we're in a situation where we can get past it. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, more than ever. But the thing is, and I'll tell people, don't let your guard down because, like I said last week, it kind of gave me a flashback when I said that I wasn't going to do that whole deal with Blackset. And here it
Right.
is, these white cats that I was hanging out with, going to all the rallies with, they turned on me. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm still the same Ricky that, hung out with you, drunk beer with you, was at your bonfire with you. I'm still that same Ricky that was at these different meetings with you, speaking, doing public speaking events with you. I'm still that same guy. But the most hurtful feeling was when I was driving home, like, damn, I was just a fucking token.
And truth be told, I think that can go. I think that can go the other way too. I get it. Um, but in the same aspect, I think I grew up so diverse that it's a little. I don't know. I feel like it's different for me. But eh, everybody's fucked me over. It's always been a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, you know. But yeah,
But see, the way I look at it though, I would have rather them just came out and told me you're going to be our token, and we're going to pay you X amount of dollars to be our token instead of buttering me up and shit. Like I thought I had like a group of friends that of like minds, but when they wanted me to take the money, and which the thing is, if I'm the one that would have to take the blind end of that, when my family see me and know me and know who I am, and they see me become a monster online, knowing that's not me, I'm the one that would have to take the blind end of that. I'm the one that have to take the blind end of being out in public and somebody seeing me and being like, yo, that's that motherfucker right there. That's not going to be them. That's going to be me.
right. Mm.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, it's a.
Greetings, Rocky.
Hey, Rocky, I see you, Nacho. He always is trolling me.
But so when people get to talking that dumb shit, like, um, you know, yeah, man, I mean, it'll be a life-changing career for you. But it could also be the end of me, because it could also be the end of my reputation. It could also be the end of people trusting me. It could also be the end of what I started doing this for, was to be informative. And, I didn't do this for the money because, like I said, I make good money. I'm, I'm all the way in the game. So I don't worry about money. So, but for them to actually dangle that in front of me, like, yeah, man, we could get you down to Mar-a-Lago, Florida, and you can meet Trump and this, that, and the third. I'm like, so now you sounded like a game show host. You know,
that's crazy. I wish I could say I don't have to worry about money, but that will never happen for me because it doesn't matter how much money I have, I'll still find a way to spend it. Because at the end of the day, I am the chick that likes the Gucci bag. And yes, that may sound a little bougie.
Don't ever say, I'm gonna tell you this. I hate to cut you off, but I'm gonna give you a message to you in your chat right now. Don't ever say what will never happen to you. I'm gonna tell you why. Every day that you wake up, the least little thing you do could lead you to where you're going. The least little thing you do. For instance, for instance, my ex-girlfriend, have nothing bad to say about her. To this very day, she's still my best friend. Do you know how I met her?
How?
I got up. I was late for work. Couldn't find my car keys as I was leaving the house. Driving fast to get to work. The light turned green. She was in the car in front of me. She was playing on her phone. I rear-ended her. But some of the things that we went through in our lives together, great things. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this woman made, her and I together, we made shit tons of money. You know what I'm saying? Just doing different things together. We experiment with multi-level marketing schemes and things of that nature, but we got paid. We broke up because we were too much alike, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And being romantic felt weird after a while. So we remained friends, but I would have never met her if I wasn't running late for work, if I didn't spend, a crazy amount of time looking for my car keys. So you might wake up tomorrow and just by you being at a certain place, you might meet somebody that could put you where you need to be. That's what happened to me with the business that I run now. I met somebody through somebody that was just by accident.
True. I wish I had the drive that I had in my 20s and my 40s. Now I look at it like, oh man, shit, I gotta do all that work. It's like, if it's not gonna come easy a little bit, I don't want it.
It might come easy, but if you enjoy doing it, like let's just say with your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
What if, you enjoy doing this, but
Yeah.
what if it came to you to a point where, okay, it doesn't feel like work. Only thing you got to do is turn on your camera and give the world your thoughts, and people appreciate your thoughts.
That's true, but I will tell you, I don't have to tell you, you do, doing YouTube channel is not just easy. It's not. Especially if you're trying to do like a really good video and edit it, and man, please, that takes some work learning that kind of stuff.
It's fun to me.
Before I know it, I got 2-3 hours in, Ricky.
Yeah, that makes it fun. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, that's great fun.
No, it is fun. Like when you're sitting there knowing how you want it to look and how you wanted to present it, or how you want to present it. Like with me doing TikTok videos for the most are 1 minute. So I got to figure out how I'm going to say it, how I'm going to formulate it, how I'm going to make this shit go viral. You know what I'm saying? What cute thing I'm going to say, or something that's going to get somebody to laugh and get my word out there to come look for me. You feel me? So it's like now I'm like, damn, and next thing you know, 3 hours of your workday is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, what did I do for so long? But what if that was the only thing I had to do? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. It works for some. It does. But there's so many, we've talked about this before. I mean, on different panels, but it's so many kids. It's like when they grow up, what do they want to be? A YouTube personality. It's like, okay, everybody's not going to be a YouTube personality. Clearly, you could be it. That doesn't mean you're going to succeed at it.
Well, when I started my YouTube, my first channel that went viral, that's when I actually was talking shit about the way that, Officer Tatum and Candace Owens was talking shit about Ahmaud Arbery. That video went viral, and I didn't expect it to. And I think that's where I met Mario and Rocket Man, Rocky Matrix. So as I started reading more into stuff, and, I was calling the Proud Boys a bunch of racists, and one of them actually saw my show and reached out to me. And I got to talking to him, and we, got educated. He got me educated on some things and hung out with him. I decided I wanted to go to the Trump rally down in Georgia. And he says, well, when you get down there, you ask for such and so, and they'll take care of you. You don't have to worry about anything. We'll make sure you're okay. Went down there, and that's how I met my friend Megan. My friend Megan turned me on to TikTok. I was like, because before then I thought TikTok was for like, kids, or if you want to watch some women shaking their asses or whatever. But she told me there was a political side of it. And when I got on TikTok, my whole thing just skyrocketed. And then I met my producer, Melissa. Met Melissa through TikTok. Met Country through TikTok. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that, I met through TikTok that are like real people in real life. So
no, I get it. I do like TikTok, I'm not gonna lie, but the only thing I try to do on there is stuff that's cute, and believe it or not, on my whole YouTube channel, the highest video I ever had, I think it got like 100,000 views. But do you know what it is? Of my son's, the dog, the freaking dog. 100,000 views, easy. I'm like,
if we could grow our views like that on YouTube. Lisa D says she found me through TikTok through a video somebody shared with her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if we could grow our views on YouTube like we could on TikTok, it would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. But like I said, I just go to TikTok to like be cute. I don't go to. I think I'd done one political thing with a Trump shirt on, but other than that, I don't. I guess I don't take TikTok serious. I wish I knew how to do it more because I want to do those duos. I see. I didn't know. I know this is going to be really naive when I say this, but I didn't know there was so many black cowboys.
Oh yeah,
and they look hot. Even though I'm not even going to lie, the white ones too. I'm not being biased here because I'm like, dang, there's a lot of fine ass men on here. Stop it! What the fuck?
There's something about rocking a Stetson that the women are just like crazy about. I don't know what it is. Like if I come out and I got my Stetson on, my cowboy hat for people that don't know what a Stetson is, I rock my Stetson and the women are just like, hey.
Yes, I was like, what in the, oh my gosh, I could sit and watch this all day.
It was a woman on there when I first started watching TikTok. My friend Queen Reynolds, she comes into my chat a lot. I met her on TikTok, and I was like, damn, she's gorgeous, because she usually does the clown makeup thing. But I saw her without the makeup on, and I was like, "Damn, you gorgeous!" Like, "Hi, how you doing?" But she comes into the chat room, and
there's nothing wrong with appreciating beauty, okay, or handsomeness, whichever you want to call it. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
just making it clear, okay. I've told a few different people on here, women too. They're attractive people. What do I have to act like I'm blind?
No, you better not.
That's crazy. I would look at. I don't have a problem if Mo thinks women on here look good. I mean, we're human. It is what it is.
Hell, I was ogling Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then Mo had to go and kiss her and whatnot. I was like, "You asshole." But when you start looking at things as for what they're really worth, though, I mean, it's kind of like the internet. Like I met Mo through Twitter. He said something, and I was like, "Well, damn, that's kind of deep. Let me, chat with him, And we got to talking, and he was like, "Let's do a show tonight." I was like, "All right, let's do it," And one thing led to another, and here we are talking. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you'd be surprised the connections that you can make and how things are just fall in your lap and you don't even know it. But the secret to that is when you wake up in the morning, every day you manifest that. Like, me personally, if there's something I want, let's say my car, right? Everybody knows how bad I wanted that Camaro. I'd wake up in the morning. I'm like, I'm getting that Camaro. I'm getting that Camaro. I'm getting that Camaro. You know what I'm saying? And I had it in my head. And when I jump in my other truck or jump in my Camry, which I did this a lot in my Camry, I turn up the music and pretend like I was in my Camaro. You know what I'm saying? And then one day, when I had the Camaro in my possession, it was hard to believe that I was driving it. Like, I'm really driving it. This is really my car. And it was a cold fucking day in February. And I let that top down. And everybody like, what is he doing? And when I got on it outside of the dealership, I hit that gas and I the way those wheels was like, squealing as I'm driving down the road. I'm like, yeah. So, and it was but I manifested that. You know what I'm saying? So there are things that you got to be able to know how to manifest your destiny, because if you don't, then you're just going to be another name in the crowd. You're just going to be another robot. You're just going to be another hostage to the corporate murder. You see what I'm saying? I mean, corporate environment. So when you start looking at, life, it's about what you want out of it. It's not, and how, the means will come to you if it's meant for you. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe in that manifestation. And I think that movie, even it's old, The Secret, is very telling. I think that sometimes I rewatch it. I probably need to do it again. Because, it's things happen in life and you get discouraged. And then, sometimes it's hard to come back up from that, and keep that positive attitude. And, that's not always easy. So.
And, so when you're looking at life, I mean, right now where you are is where you want to be. You just don't know it. Even if times are rough right now, like for instance, when I was damn near homeless, I didn't know how bad times were until I look back on it now, and it's like, man, I was in a fucked up position. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you're looking at life, you are where you are, but you're not what happened to you. You are, consciousness. You are awareness. You are all that ever was and all that could ever be living in your experience. So when people start talking that mess about life, like for instance, if you were to meet me in public, right? Let's just say, for instance, we meet up at the grocery store and, down south, we speak to everybody. We don't even have to know you. Hey, how you doing today, ma'am? Whatever,
Right.
I'm doing fine. What about yourself? And my response every time is, I'm loving life and I'm living the dream.
Wow. Yeah, okay. You're right. I wouldn't argue that.
And people would be like, well, I wish I was living the dream. You are. You see what I'm saying? See, that's why it's hard for me to swallow this whole concept of racism, because we got the game fucked up. We believe in this vision of duality, and one thing that I do when I wake up after I get finished meditating before I exercise, I don't pledge to the flag. Here's how I pledge. I pledge of allegiance to the above and below and all the creatures in between and all the creations in between. With no delusions of duality, we are all and all is one.
Absolutely.
So when people talk about me being a citizen of the United States, that's on paper. I'm a child of the universe. America is just a vision. America is somebody else's idea. America is just somebody else's idea that, I was lucky enough to be born in. That came by luck of the draw. America, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's all about our world that we live in. When we look at what's going on in the world, it's not the world. It's not anybody else's fault why we feel doom and gloom. But when the world shows us tragedy, that's something that's buried within us collectively. So when we're looking at all of the strife going on, everybody always screaming, hey, let's go, Brandon. That makes them feel good, whatever. But Jim Crow Joe doesn't exist in my life. I never seen the man. You see what I'm saying? Not face to face. I've never been in his vicinity. Donald Trump, I was like, 5 feet away from him. But at the end of the day, we are all one. We're not this whole thing of duality. we're living a conscious experience right now. You're living your conscious experience. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of
Mm.
the day, collectively, we're all connected. That
Yeah,
makes any
that's
sense.
interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you are a product of the above and below, and we're all in between. So what does that make us? We're connected in some shape, form, or fashion. And every time that you meet somebody, the person that you see in the mirror isn't the person that everybody else sees. And the problem is we get caught up in letting everybody else define for us who we are, because every time you meet someone, they introduce you to yourself. But how they introduce you to yourself is on them. It's not on you.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. And thank you, Marie. I appreciate it. I really appreciate the donation. Thank you so much.
Is that Marie on that picture right there? She's
I would
cute.
assume so. Yeah.
But so whenever you
Yeah.
start looking at things and people start talking about what's um
And
you know
Lisa
what
D, if you're here again, I thought I saw your name. Thank you, dear. I really appreciate it.
so we are all a part of a bigger picture, or we're all part of a bigger plan, and we all are of a uh, we control how we want to move in this life. You know, um, some people, they think that the control of their life is in other people's hands, which is why I don't fall into the whole victim mentality thing, because I am not what happened to me. I am a subtotal of the present. I dictate the future. You understand?
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
not what happened to me. What has happened to me isn't anybody's fault, because right now I'm in this current moment, the present. These are talks that I give soldiers that are shell shocked.
Yeah, it's really, man, it's triggering my brain. Like, man, I need to. It's not that, you know what, the thing I suck at, I have great ideas. Okay. Amazing ideas in my
You
mind.
procrastinate.
Yes. No, it's not that I do procrastinate. But the other problem is I have my hands in so many different pots, nothing gets cooked. See what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm doing this over here. I want to do that. I'm trying to thinking about dabbling in politics. I want to do, it's like just so much that how do I complete one thing when I got hands everywhere? It's like
Right.
I want to do the microgreens thing. I've been looking into that, watching a couple of webinars and, you know, um, it's like, that'd be awesome. Right. But,
Yeah. What
and
I
then,
want to,
I
what
don't
I, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
cut you off.
I'm just saying it's like I have so many ideas that it's like I want to finish my book. I want to do this. It's like I'm all over the place. Like, oh man.
See, I want to talk to a crowd of more than just politics. I want
Yeah.
to be able to talk to people on a spiritual level and get to the point where I can bring in crowds of people by just plain old fashioned enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? We don't. The world is already full of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The world's already full of it. I mean, and it'd be some days that I look at my computer, my monitor set up, and I'm like, I'm not going on live tonight. It'd be some nights that where I have a show planned, I'll just post up in the main what is it, where you make post on here, like, look, I'll be back tomorrow night. I just because it's some nights that the world gets to me and I shouldn't let it. Like even on TikTok, I ventured outside of the political sphere. You're gonna laugh when you hear this.
Oh God.
Do you know what I love to do?
What is that?
I love to sing sea shanties. And there's a spot on TikTok for people who like to sing sea shanties.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Pirate music,
What is pirate music?
drinking music, like old school Irish music.
What is that? Give me a tune or something. I don't know what you mean by that.
Farewell and adieu to you, Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you, ladies of Spain. For we received orders to sail for old England, and we may never see you, fair ladies, again.
Okay, okay. All right. I get it now that you sing it. I'm like, what wait, you gotta break it down a little bit more. Well, I guess if that you know, when I was younger in high school, you know what I aced everything. The easiest class for me and the hardest class for everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Public speaking.
Really?
I flew through public speaking. Everybody else was like D's and F's. And it was easy for me. I actually did some public speaking events in my early 20s. And
Huh.
it was just like cake work. Not to say I didn't get a little nervous. Everybody's got their little nerves.
Well,
No, I didn't take some shots or anything to calm down. I just was, calm myself down, like, okay, woosah, woosah, it's gonna be all right. And as soon as I got out there, and the first minute or two, I was in like Flint. It just worked.
when I get on my rants, especially like when I'm on my channel, like the show I did last night, it's been a while since I felt that good doing a show. Because you saw how it just came out the gate on fire. You know what I'm saying? And it's like nothing against bringing a panel on, you know, but it's kind of like when a panel comes on, I lose my flair because
Yeah,
now I'm having
yeah.
to share, the energy with other people. But like last night, well, you heard how hard I came out the gate last night, like, um, but that was me speaking what was on my mind. Like, you ever just like went into that zone where it feels like, and the best way I can describe that feeling I get, like I get warm all over, especially behind my ears,
No,
and
yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
flowing, like it's just coming out the way I want it to be. It's not scripted. It's just straight, Um, that's a damn good feeling. I can't lie, and it's
Yeah, no,
also
it
a good
is.
stress reliever.
It is. I was actually, and no disrespect to the guest at all, but what happens when you're listening to one person talk and then another person cuts in and then you have a really good train of thought and then you lose it and it just, it doesn't work well. So I absolutely get what you're saying when you say that because
Yeah,
there's multiple things I wanted to say. So then I get to a point where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I want to talk, damn it, shut up. And I'm like, wait, let me fall back. This is his channel. I can't be the dictator.
right. Well, the thing is, like that's the reason why I got pissed off at LA Thorne because every time that motherfucker, he don't have his own channel, but he wants to jump on my channel and hijack my shit. Like, um,
I
dude,
don't know
if
who
you
that
got that
is.
much to say, he's nobody. But the thing is, if you got that much to say, start your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't come on my shit. Let's just start your own channel. Don't get on here and just damn hijacking. Because that first night when I invited you on, this motherfucker ran his mouth so goddamn long that I was just like, all right, are we done now? And then we say something else, blah 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 blah. And then he started that buck dance, and I had to, oh man. And that night when I got off the air, man, I was just like, oh fuck. And I don't supposed to feel like that when I'm done broadcasting. This is my stress reliever, But even kind of like last night when I brought the guy on and he was talking about, yeah, what about Cannon Hennett? And I was like, yeah, but what about the money that gets sent to these people? You know what I'm saying? For doing the things that, we just talked about. Nobody sent the guy who killed Cannon Hennett money. You feel me? And nobody was sitting around talking about, well, Cannon Hennett shouldn't have been out in his yard unsupervised. You see what I'm saying? The dumb shit that, the double standard that you see on the right is the same double standard that you see on the left. It's just this, we're all hypocrites. It's just what can we agree to be hypocritical on? You feel me?
Right, right.
And some people will say that I'm a liberal when I say this, but I don't give a fuck if somebody wants to be a woman. I don't give a damn. It's not my place to tell that person how to live their life. If they feel that they exist as a woman, who am I to tell them different? Just don't call yourself going into the public bathrooms with other females. You know, that's where we got to cut the line at here. But if you want
Yeah, no,
to, you know,
I'm
if
with
you,
you. I'm with you on that. And I actually feel like I could do a whole channel and I wouldn't do this because I feel like I would be okay, I love women. I don't want to betray them. I feel like they're my sisters, right?
okay,
But some women I feel are so out of pocket these days that I just want to go completely ham on them. But I know that in doing that, it may end me in a sunken place. And I definitely don't want to be there, because I can just imagine the torture I'll go through when I say, certain things. But
well,
I mean, it's for me, it's a problem. Like the roles it's weird to me. It's like, when did all this happen? When did, why am I talking to 20-year-olds who are telling me that the chicks are the ones that want to have the one night stands and don't want to commit? Like, when did the roles flip? Usually that was like a woman's complaint back in the day, right?
back in the day,
Now,
yes.
yeah, now I hear men complaining like, I can't find a good woman. They all want just they can be super bad, super fly, and it's a one night stand and that's it. They won't pick up the phone. I'm like, wow, really? It's like the
But
role. I'm serious. Like the roles have flipped.
do you know what that is though? Because
Please
okay, I
tell
used
us.
to be a player. Okay, um, as a player, the reason that I was a player was I was afraid of love. I think the roles of the players switched. The women are the players nowadays, and I was afraid of love. You get that big ass heartbreak, and you don't want to put yourself through it, but you want to have the sexual gratification. You want the attention. You want somebody to tell you that you're hot. You want somebody to admire you, but you don't want to do the whole long term thing because it's just too damn consuming. You see what I'm
Man, yeah,
saying?
and yeah, absolutely. I get that part. I get it.
And then
But
there was
then
a
it makes
phase in my life. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm just saying, then it makes me feel like, well, how is this gonna work? Like clearly our numbers are down, everybody's, as far as reproducing, right?
Yep.
Our family structure, how is this gonna work?
Um.
And
Well, America's changed too, though, because like with my grandfather and my grandmother on both sides, they had 10 to 12 kids. We can't afford 10 to 12 kids anymore because we get all of our groceries at the grocery store. Where versus when they were growing up, they grew their own food. They slaughtered their own chickens and they slaughtered their own cows, and so they didn't have those conveniences or inconveniences that we have nowadays. Nowadays, both parents have to work. Where in the '70s, when my parents, first married and whatnot, only one parent had to work. But the reason we had a little bit more than the other kids in our neighborhood was because both of my parents worked. And because people would be like, man, y'all got like 3 cars, you got a TV in every room, which all of that shit, nowadays seems like small stuff. But back then that was like a luxury to have a TV in your own room. um
right, yeah,
so it's kind of like, it wasn't until like the late 80s when people started having TVs in their rooms because everybody started playing Nintendo. So when you start looking at, the way that the world changed, and then let's talk about it on this aspect. My grandfather was 16, my grandmother was 14 when they first hooked up. At 14 years old, or at 16 years old, my grandfather had his own house. When my grandmother and my grandfather got married, he had his own house. How many 16-year-olds are managing a house, going out paying the bills, and then a year later he was over in Germany fighting the Nazis? You feel me?
Yeah, no, I get it. My
So
grandfather was able to build a house for every. My great grandfather was able to build a house for all three of his sons. To start their own homesteads. It's like we can't do that. I mean, yes, some can, but a lot of people don't have those skills anymore. Let's just be
no,
honest. They're usually paying somebody, right? Um, and
you gotta have builder permits.
afford it. Yeah, and there's so many other stipulations, and to be able to afford it alone. This is not the day of the quote unquote American dream or yours, mine, and ours. Remember that movie
Yeah.
with Lucille Ball when they had like 18 kids total
Yep.
and in the grocery store, and I think the total didn't hit over $200. It's like, yeah, right. Who's can feed 17, 18 kids?
Right. Well,
One salary. I think she went to work part-time after she had that last baby in the movie. But it's like, yeah, right. 17 kids? Never.
and see, nowadays, if somebody has 17 kids, either you got to be super wealthy or you're going to be in super poverty. But I'd rather be super wealthy doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then you think about it, like, I got millionaires in my family, like millionaires, one damn near a billionaire, right? And you look at their houses, and it's like they have, small families, but the houses you could like, fit two families in there. And it's funny because you got to have, in order to buy a house that big, you have to have no children. But then this is the big then. Back in the day when rich people bought houses like that, they bought houses to stay in the family. So when you bought a
Hmm.
home, that was your, that's the house that's going to go to your kids and your grandkids, and everybody else is going to grow up in that house. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Nowadays, you buy a house. Hell, we bought this house, but who's to say that as of tomorrow that my business may not take me to someplace else, and we got to put the house on the market to move somewhere? I don't want to move, but people don't stay in houses long nowadays.
I can't even afford it right now. And I'm like, oh, I'm done. This is so disgusting. Just the rates. I've talked about this 100 times because it makes me so mad. I'm like, uh, it's
Wait,
very, very
wait another
frustrating.
year and a half. Save your money now. Wait about another year and a half, and buy it when the housing market crash.
That's apparently going to be the only option.
It's gonna crash.
Mm.
And you buy your stuff during, I mean, like right now, the best advice I could give anybody is to save your money. Don't buy anything that you don't need. And when shit crashes, get rich.
I guess I need to get rich scheme first. No, I think if I actually followed through on a couple of these ideas, I could get rich.
I bet you're a good creative writer
Oh, absolutely. How do you know that?
because I know another sociopath when I see one.
So you just called me a sociopath? Are you serious?
Yeah, I know another sociopath when I see one.
I'm not a sociopath. What the hell does that mean?
Look it up.
That does not, Ricky, that does not sound good.
I'm
I
a
don't want
mild
to be
sociopath.
that.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want to be that. That doesn't sound like a good thing. Oh my
If
God.
you're an extreme sociopath, it is. It's not a good thing.
Now I have to look it up.
But when I
I
was
know
looking,
it's good.
yeah,
A person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior and a lack of coincidence. Consciousness. What am I talking about? Conscious. What the hell, conscience? What does that mean? A lack of. No, I have a conscience. They're
you
tripping
do.
with
But
that.
at the same time, you can, at the drop of a dime, if you saw something that you needed, you see what I'm saying? You can,
Oh
yeah. So you feel where I'm at now, right? You're there.
yeah. Damn it. Well, depends on how bad I want it.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, you know how to weigh your morals versus your desire for it. You know what I'm saying? See, that's why I say I'm a mild sociopath, because like even with that offer last week, I mean, you're gonna make me famous, and I'm not gonna have to work for money, and you're gonna let me travel and do the things I want to do, but it was gonna be what they wanted me to do. So I didn't have the freedom to create on my own. You see what I'm saying? So that's when I was like, fuck it. Nope. You know what I'm saying? And you told me you like animals more than people. Signs of a sociopath.
Yeah, well, I don't know. And no, I'm actually a really good writer, truth be told. I used to blog a lot, and I did it for a couple different people for a minute. Yeah, but writing, absolutely.
So yeah, so I mean, in order to do that, I mean, because think about it, I'm a writer too, so you got to get into your characters' heads. I'll tell you more about that offline, because I don't want to share too much online about the stuff that I got going on in that field. But there was something that I was writing a while back where this guy, I was writing about a serial killer, and I had to take a vacation from the project for about a month because that character was in my head.
Oh shit. I always wondered how that worked out for people when they played when they played them characters like Charlize Theron when she played Monster, or who's that other guy that used to play all the crazy people? Damn it. Hopkins.
The
No,
Joker, Heath Ledger.
no, not him. Is it Anthony Hopkins? No, 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 no. He played the guy that was oh, they had him locked up, the Hannibal Lecter or something. Uh what the I can't even think of
Hello,
it.
Clarice.
I can't even think of his name right now.
This dude just said, not just said, he just called Kelly crazy. She's still talking to him. I didn't call Kelly crazy. Crazy is
I
another word.
I'll still talk to most people. They can call. I am crazy. I mean, I'm not that kind of crazy, but I am crazy.
I mean, you lived in your younger day. I can only imagine, but I mean,
Oh, that's
I
a
always
book
know
in
people
itself.
like myself just by talking to them. I could pick up on who you are probably within 30 minutes of a conversation.
That's a good and a bad thing. Oh, okay.
That's
Lisa D said yes. It is Anthony Hopkins, and thank you again if you weren't here, Lisa D. Really appreciate it. I didn't know if you're here to hear me say it, so um, it's not good. Well, thank you, Backwoods. He says I'm normal, so that's okay.
but the funny thing is though, when you're looking at, like, I used to I did theater in my younger year, right?
Okay.
And the best way, when I tell people, and I'm telling people about acting, you can fake the emotion, but if you really want to give the crowd what they're looking for, you got to look in the eyes.
And
Like
see,
when
I'll laugh. That's my nervous reaction. Like when somebody gets hurt, I laugh and they get pissed. Like, oh my God, a nail just went through my foot, and I laugh. Like, what
it's
the
an
fuck am I?
uncomfortable reaction. It's not that you're laughing at them. You're a sociopath, but you and I are the only people that will understand this. You're not laughing at them. You're just so uncomfortable in that moment. You don't know what else to do. It's not that you're getting joy out of somebody's pain. Like the
Right.
DSM-5. The DSM-5 got us fucked up. By the way, you're not getting joy out of their pain. You just don't know what to do. It's like, like, oh shit, like, oh damn, he just caught me laughing at his pain. But you don't know what to
This is
do. I
a
mean,
good one. Lawrence, that's a good one. Tell him I'm a sociopath, not a Nazi. Maybe Nazis were sociopaths.
see, they're sociopath. They want to kill everybody.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. Love you too. That's so funny. Oh gosh, I better stop.
Backwoods a prepper says Ricky just crazy but cool. But then we're all crazy. Well, you ever seen the movie Alice in Wonderland? What did the cat tell Alice? We're all a little mad around here.
Oh my gosh.
But you know,
That's
like
funny.
with me, like when I'm exercising, the coolest part of my day, and people are like, "What do you get out of this?" That part that you feel that, I mean, this is what I try to push people to do, especially like if you like doing cardio. Go till you can't go no more, and then there's this thing that's going to happen where you're going to feel like you're going to give up, but then you keep going and you just get this burst of energy, and fucking the world
No,
just seems beautiful. The music that
that
you're listening
that's
to through your
great for
headphones.
you. That's
So
great for you, but no, not for me.
you haven't tried it yet. I promise you, once you push yourself past that breaking point, that let me give up point, and you go further, it releases endorphins in the brain that there's no drug I've ever tried that can match up to it.
To exercise?
Yes. Like it'd be times where I'd be sitting there exercising, like if I'm on the elliptical because it's too cold outside, or in the summertime when it's hot, and I'm like, man, I can't go anymore. But then I realize what I got to do to get that rush is keep going. Your body is going to be like, boom, and you're going to be like, "Rrr," you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something about it. The music that you're listening to in your headset as you're exercising, you can hear every bell and whistle in it. You can just feel the harmony. You can actually like close your eyes and see the music if you wanted to.
Now, I will admit though, music now in my young days was very dangerous. If I turn on some, let's see Murder,
Uh-huh.
Tupac, that was very dangerous. And not that I was going to harm somebody. It was an adrenaline rush to something that I was already doing wrong. You see what I mean? I
Like you
can
get ready to
recognize
get
it
to.
now, but
Well, that's because music, the way it's designed, and people don't understand this, our body works on frequencies. We are not
yeah.
even, okay, what's the word? I was going to save this for my broadcast over the weekend or when my channel got back up. This is what we are. When you close your eyes and you open your eyes and you look around your room, right? Everything that you see around your room is not in your room. You're not in your room. Your room is within you.
Oh, don't, yeah. This is gonna fuck me up. Psychology, like my brain is gonna be. I oh god, my cousin
In
does
your
this
state of
thing.
consciousness, right now, your room is within you. When you go to sleep tonight, you're going to have a dream, right? Whether if it's a good dream, well, hopefully good dreams. We're going to manifest good dreams. You're going to feel like you're in that dream. And that dream is still within you. When you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes up and you think that you're in your waking life, then you are still with it. The world around you is within you. You are not in this world. The world is within you.
Mm. This isn't the first time I've heard this, but it actually, mm, it's intriguing. I guess every time it gets repeated to
Well,
me.
the thing is, there's what are molecules? Molecules and atoms, the things that make up the matter that we think is around us, all that is different charges to form the things that they do, that they are, and see the things that we see. Only thing you're looking at is spectrum. So every time you look at, like right now, I'm looking at my flag on the wall and my green screen, right? That
Hmm.
that green screen and that flag is reflecting every other color in the rainbow besides what I'm seeing on that flag. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? So we're picking
Yeah.
up, I mean, because there are certain types of lights that we can't even see. We only can only see one type of light. You know what I'm saying? You got UV lights, you got all kind of what is it? Infrared. We don't see an infrared, but it's still there, you know. So basically everything that we see around us is the way that our brain reacts to it.
Yeah. Pretty
So
much. Yeah.
and the brain
Yeah.
is nothing but more than a transistor to your consciousness. So if your brain is acting as a transistor to your consciousness, then nothing around you is real. You're in a dream and you manifest those things that you want, and it will come to you. This is the secret that the wealthy don't want you to know.
Well, I mean, it's not like it hasn't been out, but I'm sure there's more details to it.
It is. I'm gonna start. That's the stuff that I want to start using my platform to talk about instead of the politics, because politics is so full of shit nowadays. And I want to be able to operate on a level that I'm not a victim of my own hypocrisy. And
Right
I don't
on.
want to. I don't want to project that hypocrisy out onto the world.
That's why I think as much as I want to really dabble in it, it's probably not meant for me because I'm not, I'm very loyal. It's that Leo in me that, even when it comes to YouTube, it's like, yes, I get it. This is the internet, et cetera, et cetera. People say it's not real life, but I don't know how to operate like that. You know what I mean? I don't like to be disingenuous. I don't know. So that's why I say I don't think politics, would really be for me because I'd end up getting my feelings hurt or something bad would happen, or I'd end up
Yeah.
dead.
Or you could find that next level of life, of consciousness, that you are trying to manifest to evolve to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Let me tell you what you see when you're up in DC. You've been to DC before, right?
Never,
Oh boy.
never in my life have I been there. I've wanted to go. Oh,
You gotta
eighth
go,
grade.
because there are certain
Yeah.
things in DC that I can explain to you why they're there. And this is why, man, this will be a conversation that'll take us throughout the night, and I gotta get to bed. But I'm
Okay.
telling you, when you get to we're gonna continue this talk. We're gonna pick up on it. I'm actually gonna do a show. I should do like an hour tomorrow. I'm gonna
Okay.
finish up early, and it'll probably be like in the afternoon, probably like 5:30ish or so. And I
Okay.
should
Well,
do
we
a
can
show
do
for
that,
about an
right?
hour. And I'm
All
gonna
right.
actually just break it down. I'm gonna start breaking it down, the matrix that we live in. The Matrix is, when people look at the Matrix, they say, "Oh man, that was a good movie." But what if the Matrix in itself was a documentary?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. It could be. I never really thought of it like that. I
Right
never
now,
thought
we're
of
plugged into the Matrix. And we're plugged into a Matrix that's within the Matrix. I've never met you physically, but I've never met Mo physically. But I feel like if we were to meet face to face, that we already know each other.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna quit. I gotta quit saying that absolutely word. And I need to move in with Marie. She's on top of a mountain in the Rockies. Sheesh.
Wow. Let's go
Okay.
meet
Well,
up with Marie, man.
yeah, no kidding. Let's go.
Let's go. Shit, let's do it.
That
But you'll
sounds
be surprised at
awesome.
things that you think about today that you could be doing a year from now, that you're not even expecting to do a year from now.
Oh, I know. I didn't expect to be here at all. But don't go anywhere, Ricky. I
Okay.
wanna end this if you just have a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for coming through. I really appreciate it. Nacho, can I watch? She said they got cabins a mile away, so hey. But I appreciate everyone. Thanks again, Marie, Lisa, and Princess. I know she's probably not here. And thanks for coming to the show. I love y'all. Take care and stay blessed.